If you want me, it takes more than a wink, and more than a drink, and more than you think. The artist is Katy Perry. Welcome to episode 8 of Album Armageddon!
And welcome!
Welcome to episode 8 of Album Armageddon. I'm your host, Si Stevens, and joining me as always are my beautiful co-hosts. Comparisons are easily done once you've had a taste of perfection. It's Rob Macaulay.
I kissed a duck and I liked it.
She saw a spider and she didn't scream. It's Cath Macaulay. And he's yes, then he's no. He's up, then he's down. It's Stu Whitehouse.
Watcher.
Is he on mute again for his watcher?
Yes. That was a very physical reaction. He is here.
I am here. Of course I'm here. I'm always here. There we go. Like a bad smell.
How are we
on the bus?
Interesting. What on earth have we got lined up this month? Good grief.
It's pop at its finest. That's what we've got on our plate.
We have pop. Let's put it. Let's just leave it there.
There's no doubt about that.
First up, we have had our first 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts. So thanks to Skate End.
Thank
you.
He gave us a lovely box quote of epic battles and fun conversations.
Oh, yeah.
And that does indeed sum us up quite nicely.
Does.
So how do we have those epic battles and fun conversations? Well, we take 2 albums from a single band or artist, pair the tracks up, and discuss and decide on a winner for each track. These winning tracks then form the artist's super album on Spotify. We also have 5 all-important rules, and they are: Rule 1, obviously albums must have the same number of tracks in order for them to be matched up, so on occasion there may be some creative licensing for this to happen. Rule 2, no live arena stadium tracks, because these are normally found elsewhere on the album in question or a previous album. Also, no interludes or skits. Rule 3, in the event of a voting tie, the host who chose the artist will have the overriding decision. And Rule 4, an album can only arrive in Album Armageddon once. The same goes for artists, unless a strong and genuine argument can be given for them to feature a second time. Rule 5, and the final rule, the host who chose the artist can use the Napalm Death card, which allows them to declare the track the winner, regardless of the voting result. How this can only be used during the discussion of a track, and only can be used once per show. This is very much a passion and fun podcast. As such, we don't tend to have long, boring chats. We do. Forget this scrapping. We do have huge, long chats about the songs and such like, which includes our thoughts, feelings, and occasionally stories around the songs. As such, we get very passionate and drop the occasional swear word, but don't worry, Stu takes care of that. Yes, when we say that word, don't say that word, Cath.
So reprehensible.
Cath, Stu goes all Raji if you say
Raji?
Don't say
what the fuck is
don't
Raji? I get him to Raji.
But Stu takes care of him. That's what we pay him for.
I get paid.
Don't tell him that.
So now all of that is out the way. As our intro said, this month is Katy Perry, and the albums are One of the Boys.
Yay, Katy Perry. Woo!
That's sarcasm, Cath.
I don't know if it's sarcasm or not. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, that's sarcasm, all right. Right
I
there,
wonder,
100%.
what does that sound actually mean?
I did see 2 young gentlemen in the background pulling in a vat of scorn at one point.
Yes, the vat of scorn is always ready.
The albums, of course, are One of the Boys versus Teenage Dream, which was my choice. And I hear you all asking, and in Robbie's case and Cath's case, screaming, why Katy Perry, why?
Just why?
And why those albums? And
Do you want to
why?
ask the
Explain
question?
yourself.
Simon, why
Yeah,
these albums?
It's me. Why did I choose these albums? Well,
He spent a month thinking about why.
I have to get my other document up. Shh. But okay, let's get this out the first way, right at the start. I know Katy Perry is my choice for this episode. It's not a choice made from love of the artist. I don't love Katy Perry, but on the same scale, I don't dislike her either. when we were choosing our artists, I wanted something a little different to what I listened to mainly and very poppy. However, I didn't want to slide down to levels of the Spice Girls or Steps.
I mean, that would have been better. Possibly.
Really? Really?
Yeah, do you think you've not landed near there then?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Initially, I was leaning towards the Black Eyed Peas, and after looking at some of their lyrics and realising that Cath would have to order an industrial-sized vat of scorn every week for the month, we decided against that and changed lanes slightly to Katy Perry.
Okay.
I think Katy sits nicely in the middle ground between pop rock and bubblegum pop.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Yeah,
almost comparable to both Taylor Swift and Pink on that scale. None of those artists are cheesy pop, but they're too catchy and sing-along-y to be much heavier than pop rock. Right now, she's finishing up a 2-year Las Vegas residency, as she's announced a new album and world tour for 2024, so there's
God
something for
help
Cath to pre-order. So I thought, let's go back to where Katy Perry officially started.
If we must.
They are.
I'm not getting the sarcasm. The sarcasm is waning.
So two facts that leapt out to me in the researching of this, and we'll obviously be talking about lyrics as usual. So one of the boys was released in 2008 when she was about 24-ish, and the other one was Teenage Dream in 2010 when she was about 26-ish. These are both relevant facts for what is to follow.
So let's have a little bit of background about Katy Perry. Katy was born in October 1984 as Catherine Elizabeth Hudson and is known for her influence on modern pop music. At age 16, she released a gospel-stroke Christian rock album self-titled Katy Hudson.
A bit like Green Day.
A bit like Green Day, aye. And it was commercially unsuccessful. She moved to LA at the age of 17, and due to there already being a famous Kate Hudson, she utilised her mother's maiden name and adopted the stage name of Katy Perry.
Not Coco the Clown.
Not Coco the Clown, no. Now, there's time for some immensely impressive stats. Regardless of how much we ingest, we'll probably rip the piss out of some of this.
Do you think?
These are they are still quite impressive. She is one of the best-selling music artists. Notice there isn't even the prefix of female before that statement. She's sold over 143 million records worldwide. She has the most US Diamond certified singles of any female artist. All of her studio albums have surpassed 1 billion streams on Spotify.
Wow.
She has 9 US number one singles, 3 US number one albums. She's the only female artist to have a Billboard Spotlight Award, which is 5 number ones from a
Who's
single
Bill
album.
Bold?
Bill Bold? He's the long-lost cousin of Bill Board.
Oh, good old Bill Board.
That's why she's got 5 of them.
That's why she's got 5 of them. A big deep breath here now. She also has 4 Guinness World Records, 5 Billboard Music Awards, 5 American Music Awards, a Brit Award, a Juno Award. She is the voice of Smurfette in the Smurf films. She's the 2nd most followed woman on Twitter, as well as the 6th most followed person, and was the first person to gain 100 million followers on that platform.
Jeez.
Fast forward to the present time, she's released 3 more albums, won a shed ton more awards, and as previously mentioned, she's currently about to end a 2-year residence in Las Vegas before heading back on tour later in the year.
It just makes me wonder what the fuck has happened to pop music.
It's always been the same.
Well, I have got some info on that later.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's primed and ready like a coiled spring.
Oh, yeah.
So, about One of the Boys. It was officially Katy Perry's first album. She instantly rose to fame with One of the Boys. It was a bubblegum pop rock record which contains her first single, I Kissed a Girl, to much controversy, and its follow-up, Hot and Cold. However, the song You're So Gay was actually released as an EP before then as a way to introduce her to the music industry. She did a lot of things you would expect the next big thing to do during this time, such as hosting MTV Awards, headlining First World Tours, collaborations with other artists, which are actually included in the Spotify version of this album, but we have disregarded for the sake of track matching. And there's loads of other things. You'd be here forever if you went through all the stats of that album.
Was she on American Idol recently as well?
Yeah, she was one of
She's
the judges.
hosts.
Yeah,
I think she's recently stepped down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
of the,
I've had to listen. I've had to listen to these 2 albums, and therefore my Facebook and Instagram algorithms assumes incorrectly I'm a fan. So yes.
Teenage Dream was Katy's second album. more of a disco-influenced pop affair and spawned 5 US #1 singles. There's so much to unpack during this period of Katie's recording here, so I'm going to skim over a lot of it. This would be a 5-hour show if we didn't. And as an overview, the first 5 singles went to #1, with the 6th reaching #3. It sold over 6 million copies worldwide. It received mixed reviews from critics. There you go, Cath. You're not going to be in the minority. She achieved a record by having a single in the top 10 of the Billboard charts for 69 consecutive weeks. She won the Best Live Act for the California Dreams Tour. She was due to appear on Sesame Street, but the segment didn't air on TV. It does exist online. More about that later. She appeared in The Simpsons, How I Met Your Mother. As I mentioned, she was Smurfette. She hosted Saturday Night Live. She appeared in Raising Hope. She released an autobiographical documentary. She released perfumes. She advertised the video game The Sims 3 alongside some
Jesus.
Yeah. Sims 3 alongside some Perry-inspired costume and furniture pack DLC. She married Russell Brand. She divorced Russell Brand.
Mm-hmm.
She did.
One thing
she married Orlando Bland instead.
Yeah.
No, she's engaged to Orlando Bloom.
Oh, she's still engaged?
Oh, they're not
I don't
married
think they're
yet.
married. No.
Oh, okay, right.
There you go. Pop culture reference from me.
Nice.
Hey.
One thing
That's it.
One thing I did notice about her albums is that she's a very much a CD era artist.
Ooh,
by that I mean
old school.
Well, see, I mean her albums are very front loaded with the hits or singles.
Yes.
You know, like whereas a
100%.
Are they?
I wondered what the CD. I wondered what the CD era was. Is that like a sort of?
I mean, I just assumed that she was into like 90s music or something.
Oh, I thought it was a new genre that I hadn't discovered.
No, the CD era. But yeah, no, like 10 years ago though. 10 years ago though, those albums, like, I mean, the good example is Iron Maiden. You know, like, if you look at their albums, they're very much a vinyl album. And it's like track 1 is a big song, big opener, maybe a single or 2 in the first 5 tracks. And then track 6 would be another big song and maybe another couple of singles, because that's when you flip the record over. Whereas like the CD era artists don't tend to have that. They tend to front load their albums with all of their what's going to make them the money. Yeah. And you get a lot of filler and collaborations
it's
later
because
on.
singles sell. So you put all your singles at the front of the album so people actually have a chance to have played it through. Yeah. Because playing through an album is now, it doesn't happen so much.
But I think also in the case of bands such as Iron Maiden, their albums were intended to tell a story, so the tracks were they were chosen in a very particular order in order to tell a story. The whole album sets the scene of what's going on. Whereas Katy Perry, frustrated love song, frustrated love song, frustrated love song.
Yeah, well, that's just bubblegum pop all over. There's no story to them. It's just that's what it is, isn't it? So.
Which leads me to a big question: the whole premise of pop music. I mean, there are exceptions, but 99% of what pop music is all about love. And I just wonder why that is the case. Why is that the thing that sells?
Because
but why is that easy to sell?
That's what people can relate to the most, I guess.
Yeah,
and there's us, and we are at the end of the day. You might not want to hear it, but we're all snobs in this room here.
Oh, yeah,
and at the end of the day, she's just all the marketing team behind her, just basically doing what they're paid to do. They're paid to sell records, and you can tell by later on when we get into it, the some of the songs are just blatant cash grabs and nothing else.
But
absolutely. At the end of the day, she's making the bank.
Yeah.
Who are we to go? Oh no.
I mean,
the
fact when you're saying like when she's released perfume, she's advertised video games, she's released DLC for video games, and
Has she?
Yeah,
The Sims.
The Sims 3, there was like Katy Perry themed furniture.
Oh, I like The Sims.
Yeah,
that's put me off.
There's a quote that I've mentioned from Lemmy before, who said that the concept of selling out. He's not there to, he's there to make a living and make money. So, selling out and getting a record deal is one thing, but then producing absolute lighters in the air cheese fests. Where does the music end and just the marketing begin? So
definitely, yeah. I mean, that's if you want to be an artist with integrity or not.
But what is integrity? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Justin Hawkins has also said the similar sort of thing. It's like he doesn't like a lot of the things that he's released.
Me neither.
It pays the bills.
Yeah, it's true. And we'll come back to Justin Hawkins in a bit.
Will we? Okay.
Yes.
So, creative licensing for this month. There is a little bit. So, in order for the tracks to match up, we have performed some. And from one of the boys, we have removed the rock remix of I Kissed a Girl because there is really not much difference between that and the original version.
Mm-hmm.
And from Teenage Dream, we have removed the free remixes at the end and removed the collaboration tracks, as they're actually the other artists' tracks and just feature Katy Perry. And those are being Starstruck by 303. And If We Ever Meet Again by Timbaland.
I'm so happy that's not on there because I fucking hate auto-tune. And the effect auto-tune. I don't mind people using auto-tune to fix their voice, fine, or whatever. I hate it when you hear the auto-tune and they use it as an effect.
Oh yeah.
And that song is riddled with it. It's like, I can't do it. So I'm happy that's not on the list.
Excellent. So Stu's happy. Stu seems to be the happiest of all of us.
Oh, I'm very happy. I think the audience, I'm going to be the only positive one in this group today. So.
I don't know if you can. So let's begin this battle of epic proportions. We start off with One of the Boys and Teenage Dream from Teenage Dream. It's the two title tracks to start it up. Title track versus title track straight out the gate. One of the Boys is about Katie's frustration over being seen as just another of her crush's friends, and also about Katie's transition from being a tomboy to a woman who is openly feminine. Feminine. I
think you need to get that over the counter. Feminine.
Whereas Teenage Dream was released as the second single from Teenage Dream. While discussing Teenage Dream, there's going to be a lot of Katy quotes because some of them are just fucking hilarious. Katy said that the song is about recapturing the dizzying, thrilling feeling of your first love. It's been called on many occasions one of the best pop songs ever recorded.
Wow.
Well, everyone's entitled to an opinion.
It doesn't make them right. Perry has performed the song at numerous events, including the Super Bowl, and has performed the song on every single one of her concerts.
Jesus.
So let's start with open up with do we go happy or do we go scorn? Happy scorn. Cath, what's your
Here comes the scorn bucket.
Oh, right. I'm just going to compose myself for the paragraphs that I've written about One of the Boys.
Wow.
Right then. So, One of the Boys. It's a sad song about love and gender stereotypes. Katy is unhappy at being considered one of the boys because, I presume, the love interest is attracted to women who are more feminine than Katy. Katy's outrageously masculine preferences, including playing guitar rather than going to ballet dancing, belching the alphabet, and playing video games. Anyway, she then makes efforts to become what is generally considered to be more feminine, to be more attractive to this boy. She wants to be a flower and make out with him. Unsure if this song is pro or con to traditional gender stereotypes. Musically, backing track, absolutely. It's very much about the lyrics. Very strange song, but I guess it was one of her hits, so okay. Teenage Dream. So quite a simple track, both musically and lyrically. Katy was... So I actually wondered how old she was when she recorded this, because it's capturing
26.
Teenage memories of when you first make out
26
with someone. 28 when she released this song. 28, I checked. At least according to the Google search I did.
Okay, well...
Yeah. It seems odd that she's making music for teenagers, which I presume was the album's audience, given that it's called Teenage Dreams. Anyway, I didn't like it, and the lyrics were boring, as was the music. So, One of the Boys didn't bore me, but it did make me question the lyrics and the point that she was actually trying to make, because I think if you're inclined to particular interests, then fucking stick with it. Why would you have to change your whole personality just to attract the attention of some boy? Like, Katie, if you're into guitars and video games, fucking stick with it, girl. You know, you'll meet the right guy for you at some point. Don't change your whole personality just for some guy. I vote one of the boys.
Right.
Okay, so as we start with Scorn, let's go Happy Stu.
Hey, hello. Right, I never really introduced of how I'm dealing with the whole Katy Perry thing at the moment. So I know of Katy Perry, obviously, and all that, but I have purposely not researched stuff, and this is purposely because I wanted to go in track by track without any influences. So because lyrically, I think we're all going to agree, they're very basic lyrics. And there's a couple of songs which you could quote unquote say deep. But when I say deep, it's like a puddle and it's just, you know, you get your foot stuck a bit wet and that kind of deep. But, you know, so they're very easy. So I'm trying to be as pure as possible of like doing track by track. It is hard as well because some of the tracks just are weird and all that. So completely agree with the statement of front loading the albums. My good God, the first half of these albums are the hits, and the rest are just we'll put them in. We'll see what happens. Right. So one of the boys in Teenage Dream. So one of the boys I've got. I don't know who's picked up on this, but I actually quite like the music in one of the boys. But it was very Smashing Pumpkins-esque at the start, with the way the drums were coming in and all that.
That's pure luck.
Maybe, and a lot of music may be pure luck anyway. So, but it sounded like a real drum kit, which was nice. Whether it was not, I don't know, but it sounded like one. So, approval from me. Really like the chorus, the way it all goes in. Cath is right though. The lyrics are a bit odd and questionable, but I know she was like young when she wrote them, and it's just
28.
No, not this album.
24.
Yeah, when she no, but she probably wrote no. That's when she released the album. She probably wrote these way before that.
I don't think she wrote them.
You don't think she wrote them?
I don't think she wrote
I
them.
think she wrote.
I think she's wrote most of the songs.
I think she's wrote all of her songs, but when
Says
she says
songwriter Katy Perry.
yeah, but I also feel that it's songwriter Katy Perry, but songwriter Katy Perry in a room with other songwriters.
Oh yeah. The Love and Hell. But
and
anyway,
producers.
so, but right, Teenage Dream. This song it's one of those songs which is all about the chorus and nothing else. You don't remember the verse.
Yeah.
Nobody go, and then the chorus comes in. You go, hey, the chorus! I like the chorus. Yay!
Yeah.
So it's a happy song, but very boring verse. It's another one of those just a pop by numbers, song. I do like the chorus though. But what was one of the? I really like it when she says, "Oh, that's it." When she says these particular lyrics, and I'm not going to sing them in her style, obviously, but I just like the way.
On.
I just like the way it flows. It says, I get your heart racing in my skin-tight jeans by your teenage dream tonight. Shit lyric, but the way she delivers it, it's just like, hey, it's nice. It feels nice. It trips over the lyrics nice, so I quite like that one. But I am going to go for One of the Boys. I just think that's a better song. Really, I quite like it. Sounds more, here's a shit word, organic. That is a shit word, but it's less that, it's less electronic-y kind of thing. So, and I do think there's times and places for it, which we'll come on to later. But in this one, these two, One of the Boys is the better track.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Robbie, what are your thoughts on this one?
Much shorter than everybody else's. So One of the Boys, lyrical nonsense. But that's lyrical nonsense from a man who's 30 years older, possibly more, than Katy Perry and her target audience. So, whatever. I didn't mind that. I was surprised, actually, that it starts off with a bit of a rock element. I didn't think we were going to go there. So that was nice. Clearly, she got a good voice. But then it becomes quite apparent it's cookie cutter rock. It's a backing track rock. Yeah. So, it doesn't really mean much. Bit of sort of girl group backing vocals on that one, which was all right. But the big thing that sort of sold it for me was whether she was channeling her inner Gwen Stefani at this point. Because there's certain lyrical inflections in the chorus that reminded me of No Doubt. So I think it's the sort of tail end of words where she sort of, has that sort of twang of Gwen Stefani. Teenage Dream. Well, while I thought that one of the boys was lyrical nonsense, fucking hell, Teenage Dream makes it seem like Charles Dickens or the Tales of Monster Magnet or Clutch, but it just means nothing to me. But again, I'm not the target audience. It's pure bopping around. And at one point, the word tonight is repeated 6 times. So, yeah, one of the boys wins it for me.
One of the boys wins it for you. Okay, so it's 3-0.
This be a Napalm Death at the start.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Sigh, tell us.
Okay, let's start with an opening gambit in regards to a vocal affliction that Katy uses on more than one occasion across these 2 albums, although it is more prevalent on the One of the Boys album. Or should I say that it's more prevalent on this album? I fucking hate that vocal style. She isn't the first to utilise it. She won't be the last. I just don't think it's needed, as she does have the range in her voice, which she demonstrates later in the album.
Yeah.
To make it more melodic. She just doesn't need to do this. And it just annoys the fuck out of me. Does or should an album's title track open its album?
Never.
I always feel that normally you find that the title track isn't the best
Middle
or
album?
strongest. Yeah, it's a strange to have it like kick off the album on 2 albums. So, One of the Boys leans, obviously we've all said, more towards the pop rock side, although it is a generic rock drum beat backing track type of deal with a generic driving bass melody. Teenage Dream, more of a pop stroke disco number, and does something that was very prevalent at the time of soft verse, harder chorus, back to a softer verse. And when I say that, it's more, when I say softer verse, harder chorus, it's very much a don't bore us, get to the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But not in a Rage Against the Machine style way.
No, this is it.
If only.
It's probably one of her most recognisable tracks, or at least top 5 easily. Teenage Dream does something else vocally that I don't particularly care for, and that's multiple full stops in a sentence. And sometimes after every fucking syllable.
I mean, if we're going to criticise the punctuation, that's a different podcast.
Full marks for punctuation.
Full marks for punctuation. She's made sure that every bit of punctuation is in there, including in 3 times in one fucking word. It's a tough one straight out of the gate for me, so I don't think either of these songs are particularly great. I prefer the music of One of the Boys. Lyrics feel cheesy, but have vocal styles or afflictions I don't care for. Lyrically, they're both fucking nonsense. I'll always probably lean away from proper pop if I've got a choice of it. So I'm going to go with the majority and go with One of the Boys.
Hey.
Excellent choice.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep to start us off.
Nice.
So that leads us on to Battle 2, which is I Kissed a Girl, which is the first single from that album.
Teenage Dream?
One of the Boys.
Boys.
And versus Last Friday Night, in brackets, T.G.I.F, which was the 5th single from Teenage Dream. I Kissed a Girl finds Perry detailing an intimate experience with another woman. The song, because of the then
scandal.
There was scandal. This is so much. This is a different time. There was so much controversy over this theme, which almost caused Kate to be dropped from her label.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? It wasn't even that long ago.
I know.
I mean,
I'm
this
thinking,
day and
like,
age, really?
Aguilera, Britney and Madonna? That would have been just before this, wouldn't it?
I can think of a song that is more potentially offensive on this album.
Oh, yeah,
God,
100%.
Oh, I mean, there are many songs that are more potentially offensive than this one.
No, not to your ears. We
But
mean genuinely
lyrical quality.
Yeah.
But so the story says, the rumour and innuendo is that Dennis Reese, the label's senior vice president, helped push the song on radio stations, and what was almost the end of her career before it started turned out to be the one that launched Perry to the masses by becoming her biggest and first worldwide hit. The song peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart for a total of 7 consecutive weeks, while Perry has not explicitly revealed the main person behind the inspiration of the song. Miley Cyrus, however, has claimed it was about her. The song is recognised as, ready for this, I'm glad Cath is sitting down, it is recognised as the 10th best-selling single in the 21st century.
Wow.
My God, for that!
Wow.
Last Friday night, quite simply, is an ode to partying heavily, and regardless of the fact that you regret everything you did on the last Friday night, you still can't wait to do it all again this coming Friday night. Katie stated that it's a song about debauchery. Debauchery? Debauchery? Debauchery?
Debauchery.
Debauchery. We'll start that again. Stu, you're on the ball here. Katie stated the song is about debauchery because I had one of those nights on a trip to Santa Barbara. One of the friends in this trip was co-writer Bonnie McGee. Bonnie McGee, that's her name.
Who's that?
It was one of her co-writers who said the song encapsulated Katie and my wild drinky days. McGee said T.G.I.F is pretty much a word-for-word description. McKee, as in McKee.
Right.
Is pretty much a word-for-word description of our trip to Santa Barbara, which does give an interesting outlook onto that threesome mention in the lyrics.
Katie, you tiger.
The song has charted in the top 10 in 27 countries.
Wow.
That's another amazing fact. So let's go, because I know this song bugs the hell out of me with its intro. I believe it's going to do the same to Robbie. Robbie, you're up!
Right, well, I Kissed a Girl. I mean...
No way!
It's been a while. The two words that popped into my head when I was listening to this was Tom Hardy playing Alfie Solomons, just saying "tittle tattle," because that's all this is. It's pure unit shifter. It's tittle tattle.
You fucking unit shifter.
You fucking unit shifter. Is that just tittle tattle? It's I like the sort of robot harmony effect on it. The lyrics, just pure unit shifting bullshit. But a unit shifter it certainly is. So can't deny that. Last Friday night, ditto with the lyrics. It's just like spring break. It just reminds me of Americans going nuts. Everybody pull away. There's auto-tune on it or double tracking. I didn't like it. It was just nothing. So just for the...
Did you not?
No.
I wouldn't have expected that, to be honest.
I mean, it's just nothingness. I Kissed a Girl for the win.
Okay. I still got like, you fucking unit shifter.
You fucking unit shifter.
Okay, Stu, what is your thoughts on this? And please, there's got to be a Stu impression at some point of this.
No, these two songs are great. I don't understand. What the fuck do you want from pop music, you lot? What do you want?
Well,
I don't get what you fucking want.
Well, you'll find out later.
These are pop. Right, I Kissed a Girl. Right, you're saying like, this day and age or Cath a bit. Like 2008 was a really different time then. I thought that was a, brave thing and whatever. I didn't know she almost ended her career because I didn't really follow her at all. But I was aware of the song, but I never knew who sung it. So, it is just. I just think it's a great pop song. It's a very effective drum beat. I've noticed this with all the Katy Perry stuff, especially the more electronic stuff. God, it's such a monotonous drum beat. It's just boom, bam, boom, bam.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's very simple bass line, but again, effective. Nice stereo effect in the middle eight. But there is one criticism on there. It's like, I think what Si ticked on earlier on. Well, not exactly. She repeats the lyric 3 times. And it's like, oh, come on. You got like one part of your song and then you just repeat it 3 times.
But that's pop music.
Yeah, but
first chorus, middle and fade.
Yeah, but there's sometimes the more obvious, and this is one of the more obvious ones. Friday night, I'm sorry, I would do that, what she was doing. So it's not about Americans, Robbie, at all. I would fucking do that. It sounds ace. I want to go to there. I want to party. I want to not remember what I did the next day and then do it all again. I thought it was a really good pop song. I mean, it's just got... But there was another one again. To me, it was all about the chorus. But where it's not forgiven, there's a fucking sax in it.
Yeah!
No, Katie. No, all artists. So by default, I Kissed a Girl gets it, and that's it. I mean, I really like that. I was really loving last night. And saying, "Oh, this is fucking nice, really nice popping line." What the fuck is that?
But it is very American because the whole thing is.
Oh yeah, I know that. I know.
It's. I mean, if you read the, pink flamingos in the pool, chandeliers on the floor. I know. Middle America.
I know. Well, it just, you know what though? I think it painted a really good, cool picture of a party in a major city and that kind of life. So I thought it was very well. I'm not very well known in lyrics. I just thought it was just well done. So
okay.
But anyway, I Kissed a Girl.
Yeah.
I kissed a girl. Okay. Cath, have you kissed a girl or have you
kissed a duck?
Kissed a duck.
So, before I read my notes, I just want to say that I find I Kissed a Girl just irritating because it just seems that women who want to try and make it in the mainstream have to do something really scandalous and, kiss a female, either in a video or lyrically or whatever, in order to grab the media's attention. And it was the same with Tattoo several years earlier. The only reason they became famous was because two girls had a slog at the end of the track, and it's just disappointing. And
more on them later.
But anyway, referring to my notes, I'd heard this track before. So I was familiar with this track by Katy Perry. The track is very successful commercially and played in bars a lot. I presume the song is a celebration of bi-curiosity, as Katy enjoys a moment of exploring her sexual identity but worries about upsetting her boyfriend. She justifies this outrageous act by saying it's quite normal to be curious, but it's not what good girls do. Or could it be a marketing strategy for more sales?
I don't know. I don't. You know what? I really don't think it is. I do think that's just what she penned at that time and what she thought. I mean, there's a load of questionable songs coming up with the way the lyrics are in there, which if they're released now, they would not. They would probably have the same sentiment, but they certainly wouldn't use certain ways of describing certain things. You just think keep away from it. And I think this is one of them. I don't know. Maybe I'm more, less skeptical of it, I suppose. So sorry, Cath, I didn't mean to stop you.
No, not at all. I just find it borderline offensive, if anything.
Tittle tattle.
So I remember in the 90s there was a girl group called Tattoo, and they were only famous because the singer snubbed in the video, and that's why I find it offensive. Like, she really, if she's bisexual, then fucking wonderful, good on her. But to make it a marketing strategy just is bullshit, and I hate that. And she shouldn't rely on, the scandal of kissing another girl to sell a record. And that's why I just really dislike this song.
Funny, that's a lot of what gay community said at the time of that being released too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they really fucking hated the song. They just thought it was a ploy for marketing.
I know she's been called, what was it, the Queen of Camp is one of her sort of monikers. And I wondered whether this was her misguided attempt to embrace the, let me get this right, LBGTQ plus community.
Yeah.
So, and it's just completely backfired.
Yeah, I think that probably is the case.
Because
judging by some of the comments, I've got quotes of Kate from later on for other tracks. I feel that she very much wanted to appeal to that community.
Shot herself in the foot. And that's why people ought to hear it. So, yeah.
I mean, it was a very successful track, and, a lot of people enjoyed it. And, musically, I guess it is kind of catchy, but I just don't like that. I don't like the sort of the cynical marketing strategy behind it.
Mm.
Okay, so moving on to last Friday night, I found it a little bit jangly, which really puts me off because I'm still recovering from the PTSD of the wedding present. However, the wedding present is something we talked about on a previous episode. Please do give it a listen, or not. You don't have to.
No, they do. They do.
They do.
The lyrics of this track entertained me because it's about Kerry waking up after a Whitehouse party. She's got a stranger in her bed. She's covered in love bites. There's photos on social media of her antics. She's cringing, which is quite funny because I guess we can all kind of relate to that. But she's not learnt her lesson apparently, because she did the exact same thing last Friday, and she's going to do it again next Friday.
Yeah.
However, the saxophone solo can fuck off and die a slow, painful death.
Unity.
Yes, exactly. The music, utter crap. The song, actually quite funny. So, because I find the first one so offensive, last Friday night gets my vote.
Wow.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So, I'm just reading over my notes while you're doing it. I'm trying to keep a straight face. I might have to get to re-record this. The drums of I Kissed a Girl remind me of Rock and Roll by everyone's favourite musical pedo, Gary Glitter. Again, it's very much leaning towards the pop rock side of Katy, with it being her vocals backed by drums, bass and guitars. It very much has a don't bore us, get us to the chorus aspect again, though. It's very much like that. My notes for last Friday night was completely obliterated by fucking Stu. Last Friday night has more dance pop new wave influences with its zigzaggy keyboards and a very light sprinkling of jangly indie rock guitars. What I do like about last Friday night is it's a very pure pop song in that it doesn't feature a lot of auto-tune or fat DJ beats. However, there's a fucking sax player in there, so I'm going to go with I Kissed a Girl.
Fuck off and die.
Okay, all right.
Oh, but I Kissed a Girl just...
Yeah, I know. Alright, Battle 3. Waking Up in Vegas was born out of a suggestion by co-writer Desmond Child telling Perry they should stop writing dark and brooding songs and instead write something light-hearted and high-spirited about you and your gay best friend hitting Vegas and losing all your money. It featured on Guitar Hero Live and Rock Band 4 and was the obvious choice to advertise her Las Vegas residency.
What?
Yeah.
Really? It was in Rock Band?
It was in Rock Band.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. California Girls. This song literally does what it says on the tin. The song is an exclamation of how great California girls are, directly from one of them. And the music video. Fuck me, the music video. I'm going to let Wikipedia do the work here. In the video, Perry is a game piece in a video game called Candyfornia. The settings are inspired in part by Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and the board game Candyland. Snoop Dogg appears in the video as a king named Sugar Daddy that is holding several young women captive throughout the game, different times. Using candy-related devices to hold them. Perry moves around, experimenting with objects. She moves through the land, making discoveries and freeing the women. In the chorus, she appears laying down on cotton candy cloud, naked. Snoop
What
Dogg
is experimenting with objects?
I don't know. I didn't want to push that button.
Leave it to imagination, audience.
Yes. Snoop Dogg tries to block her advances in many ways. When all the women are free, Perry leads them in a dance on the beach. Seeing the women freed, Sugar Daddy becomes enraged, marching on the women's position with an army of gummy bears. Perry defeats the army with whipped cream guns attached to her breasts, after which the stunned king throws down his staff and surrenders. What the actual
we've all done
fuck?
that. Yeah.
That sounded like last Friday night.
Mm.
And on that bombshell, Stu, what's your thoughts?
Yeah.
Are you watching the video,
right.
Stu?
Yeah, no. Right, so Waking Up in Vegas, again, that's very, what you've already referred to, about it is a very backing track heavy song, that's all it is really. But I quite like it. It's just very teenage poppy rock, not punk, that kind of light pop rock thing, so it's quite good in that sense. Lyrics are a bit weird in that one, I found. We won't even get onto, we'll get onto California Girls in a minute on those lyrics, but this, I don't know, it's just, she seems like really fucking materialistic in this song. I don't know whether you picked up on that. It's just like, you're basically, you're buying all my drinks and da-da-da. It's like, okay, all right, chill out. But it's a skater rock, a skater rock boy, skater boy kind of feel to it as well. I found as a.
What's Skater Boy?
Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, that's the one. Avril, yeah. Right, it's got Snoop Dogg in it, so it's a comedy song by default. Surely, has he ever done anything serious in his entire life? No. He's now a parody of himself, which is it's amazing you can get to that point in your life where
That is weird.
you are parody.
You are your own parody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The beat is ridiculously simple, but it is effective for the pop song it's actually created. Where the producers have done. The lyrics are just nonsense. What Si's already laid out, absolute tosh. I swear they were in a meeting going, right, what's hot? West Coast, East Coast rap. We got West Coast. We got, no, dog. I could get him on the phone for you if you want. Really? What's Snoopy Dogg? Well, it's his cousin. Oh, I don't know what's Snoop Dogg. Oh, okay, we'll get him. So like, they got him down and went, you can do some of your laid back rap in the non-comedy fashion. You can't do that because all he can do is comedy. I'm now torn because I did actually vote this one as the winner. But now I'm really thinking about it, I can't because it's just... Cath, if you're offended by I Kissed a Girl, California Dreams is going to make you get mental.
Just you wait.
Yeah, so I am going to go Waking Up in Vegas because, I don't know, apart from the materialistic kind of fodder which is in there, I don't know, it's the better track. So, yeah, that's where.
Okay, do we wait for the scorn? Do we? No, let's bring the scorn in now. Cath, what are your feelings?
Waking Up in Vegas. So... not keen on the intro or the first minute of the song, as both the music and the lyrics are quite uninteresting and quite cliched. Mm-hmm. The chorus lifts it a bit, and that's when the song really feels like it comes alive. But the song just seems like such a boring, massive cliche about being in Las Vegas. Like, we've seen it a million times before. Please, can you just not say something a bit more interesting or different about fucking Las Vegas? Please. The only thing really of note about this track was the ridiculous guitar slide mid-song, which meant served no purpose other than here's an interesting effect that we're going to inflict upon you for literally no reason.
I also noted that, and this made it to Rock Band. I mean, is this a level 1 track when you're just working out how the guitar strap works?
Yeah. I couldn't really decide how I felt about the lyrics, because I thought, okay, so you've had a wild night out in Vegas, you've woken up in a whole bunch of glitter, you're with your friend. Why are you laying into your friend? I just did not understand the lyrics at all.
Is this not just the musical version of The Hangover?
Possibly, but she just seemed to be angry with her friend for no reason. I just didn't get it. Maybe I missed something, but I couldn't really understand what she was actually talking about in this song. So I moved on quite quickly to California Girls. Oh dear. I wish I hadn't.
Then you moved back.
So, yeah. So the melody sounded like some sort of Ibiza anthem rip-off, which really wasn't a good start. And then sort of reading the lyrics, which I kind of felt I had to, just basically told me that California Girls are a bunch of slappers who need to be careful not to get skin cancer. Terrible, terrible track. Please never make me listen to this again. And what made it even worse was the male vocalist towards the end of the song, which added nothing to the song except to further enforce how slutty California Girls are, which I'm sure isn't the case.
You mean Snoop Dogg?
Snoopy Dogg,
yeah. I just didn't care who it was. It's just a male vocalist going, I'm gonna fuck these girls on the beach in their bikinis. Or whatever the hell it was that he was saying. Nil bar for me. This track is really dreadful. Even worse than Waking Up in Vegas, which I didn't understand, but California Girls was kind of offensive, so fuck that track. Waking Up in Vegas.
Okay, so Robbie.
Wow.
On that bombshell,
I mean, I can't add too much to this. Waking Up in Vegas, that goddamn fretboard sweep, that's even a more technical term than it needs to be. It's a plectrum scrape down the fretboard for those that don't. It was just, it's just awful. I mean, I know you're supposed to write what you know about if you haven't got an imagination, but Jesus Christ, that's what you get for Wake Up in Vegas. get up and shake the glitter off your clothes now.
Yeah.
Okay. And California Girls, I wrote down Snoop Dogg's on this. It's embarrassing, but still the best thing on this track. California Girls are undeniable. Undeniably what? I think Cath may have already answered this question. Yeah, it's just, and we'll come again to, we've had this discussion before, and we'll have it again, about the way the melody sounds versus the lyrics that are actually being sung.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pure hook, this, in the chorus. It could be about the phone book, it wouldn't matter. It's all about the yeah, so I mean, but it's just, it makes me wonder who buys this. Is this the spring break, let's play this by the pool where there's a load of girls here?
I can only assume.
I don't, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I actually haven't voted on either of these, but I'm sort of swayed by the fact that California Girls with a U is so dreadful that Waking Up in Vegas has to win. There you go.
Okay. I mean, I think you do a good point there. It's like if a song hits spring break. The old spring bake. Get your chocolate cakes out. If it hits spring break at the right time and gets big for spring break, that's the amount of streams that's going to get is going to put. I mean, think about like chart positions now aren't sales. Charts are mainly airplay and streams.
Yeah.
So if you get a song that hits that right, then that's where she's getting a lot of the charts from, I would imagine as well.
Yeah. Well, she's basically got three modes, isn't she? She's got your sort of Avril Lavigne skater boy mode. She's got your spring break mode, and she's got the mode which may be what she would actually like to be doing, but isn't going to sell the units, which we'll come to later. Yes. I don't know, maybe.
Definitely. Okay, so my vote, not that it really counts, because unless I play a Napalm Death card.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what a sad death card that would be.
Sad death card.
Yeah, why waste it on this?
The effect wouldn't be the normal effect. It'd just be wah, wah, wah.
That'd be a saxophone solo.
I think you can tell which album is the one that leans more towards pop rock side of Katy, and don't think it's as strong as the songs as the previous two on her One of the Boys album. It feels much more a pop rock by the numbers than previous songs. The lyrics do make sense. They're garbage, but they do make sense. There is a little bit of a story there about waking up in Vegas. It does go against one of Katy's biggest hits, but also possibly the strangest collaboration in pop music. Although Snoop did have a period of very strange collaborations, and I'm thinking Ollie Murs and Johnny Cash spring into mind.
I mean, more recently, the Just Eat adverts.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he's smoking something.
Apparently he's given up.
I think that someone should come out with a diss track on that called Waking Up in Lewisham.
Waking Up in Lewisham. I mean, it is electro pop, bubblegum pop, funk pop at its peak. I think it would appear in people's top three if you ask them to name a Katy Perry song.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'd also think it would appear in people's top three.
Really?
Easily. I think that's probably
only if people hadn't heard all her songs.
What's
the one that springs to mind?
Yeah, I think California Girls definitely is up there.
Oh my god.
Although there is the element of overexposure to it and it being a bit shit.
So
it's such a bad song.
I think we're going to have a second clean sweep there for Wake Up in Vegas. Even though it's not a great song, it's, I think, just the overexposure, and it's just, I'm not the target audience.
California Girls
for
is so bad.
I'm not the target audience for this song. I know I'm not the target audience for that song. And therefore, I don't want that song.
Right.
Track 4, Thinking of...
Jesus.
Yeah, right. Thinking of You, which was the third single from One of the Boys, versus Firework, which is also the third single from Teenage Dreams.
Yeah.
Thinking of You finds Katy describing her past with a former lover, who she considered to have been her best relationship. Even though she's with someone new, she isn't as happy with her current boyfriend as she was with her ex. Poor Katy. Firework, on the other hand, Katie has stated that Firework is probably her favourite song of all the ones she has written.
Really?
Well, there you go. Not a fan of California Girls either.
No, she's not a fan of it either. Lyrically, it's meant to be an inspiration to anyone who's ever felt worthless or unloved, and that anyone is capable of leaving the world in awe.
It's got the lyric, "Do you ever feel like a plastic bag?" in it.
I did say some of her quotes are fucking off the scale mental, didn't I? On that, seeing as you've looked at the song in depth, Robbie, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, yeah, that just struck me as, and we might, again, sometimes I wonder if she's literally, like, just chucking out stuff that she amuses her, but that some people are going to get it, and people like us who don't know Katy Perry are just going to, deride it. But yeah, Firework, so you've got your AOR rock versus synth pop elements. And then, the lyric, "Do you ever feel like a plastic bag?" I could really identify with. I have felt like one before.
Quite often, in fact.
So, and then we get to this sort of vocal range, and it's quite a big sort of American thing, filling stadiums and lighters in the air. I suppose it's supposed to signify, in inverted commas, epic. And she's up in that sort of stratospheric area. So I can see the chorus being like a sort of wild screaming fest, and everyone sort of jumping up and down live.
Concert closer.
Yeah, well, there's a few of those on here. So, "Fall to the Floor" would be overstating the drum beat, I think. And then we've got more lyrics like, "After a hurricane comes a rainbow." Does it? Is that meteorologically correct? I don't know. Then we get a middle eight, which mentions "boom, boom, boom, moon, moon, moon."
Oh, you just stole a bit I was going to say.
Yeah, which again... so I was gonna give this the win for the sort of the live, imagining this live. You can imagine the whole place going. But the thing that detracted from this was A, the lyrics, and B, the out of the box factory synth sounds. You may remember, I think it was Enya. When I was doing music technology, the guy pulled out a Roland keyboard and said the reason that Enya used these keyboard sounds is because she thought the earliest one used the pre-programmed sounds, and no one else can use those sounds now. So she just got in first, and that seems to be the case with this. Thinking of you, I was sort of reminded of me thinking of you.
At your age?
At my age. No, sorry. So I could work out whether it was sort of Suzanne Vega or Alanis Morissette at the beginning. And it wasn't a bad intro. And again, she could certainly sing. The drum sound on this was horrible. I'll see what Stu thinks about the drum sound. The instrumental bridge between the first two verses sounded like a cutting that fell on the floor of a Pearl Jam rehearsal. The second verse, which says "you're like this and you're like that," I don't like it. Those sort of very, very poor analogies. The issue here is not the lyrics; it's just that I'm not in the target age group. The middle eight's the nicest thing about the song, and then we're into lighters in the air territory. However, because of not really feeling like a plastic bag, I'm going to give it to "Thinking of You."
Okay. Stu.
Right, so "Thinking of You." It's probably the first one on what we've heard so far, which is a lot slower than the others, what she's doing. It's an okay guitar part. Yeah, the drums are okay. The sound's a bit... I don't know why did they pick that snare sound? It's horrible. Just really just... But it sounds, again, like a real drum kit, so... apart from the snare, which is just naff. It's, I don't know, a cool, on the lyric side, I think it's quite nice. It's like a two-timing song, but she didn't actually two-time, so I don't know what the point of that is. So, okay, fair enough. Firework, I love it. It's a great song. End of. I don't care how bad the lyrics are. I do laugh, though, every time I hear a boom, 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 moon, moon. It just I piss myself. But It is pop 101. It is just happy, all about the chorus. Verse can go and fuck itself. Nobody cares about the verse.
Okay.
It's just like, you just want to get to the chorus and you just want to, fireworks, and you're just dancing and just jumping in the air. I think it's awesome. So,
Wow.
yeah, that is my quick vote. It's going to be Firework, because I can't see why you wouldn't vote it, personally. I have no idea why you wouldn't.
Well, we'll find out in about...
Well, just to expand upon my previous point, do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? Is that the sentiment of plastic bags in the wind?
I do believe
plastic bags.
the first thing on my notes about this song is, I don't care about the bad lyrics. So, yes, I don't care.
Maybe it does feel like a
The
plastic
chorus is all where it's at. That's all you need.
Wow.
Okay, Cath, can you get to the chorus?
Well, thinking of you. So the acoustic guitar feel to the song is actually quite pleasant. But Katy does that trendy thing with her singing, in which she's singing very low notes and then really high in quick succession. The drumming was much more noticeable in this song than the previous songs, but the music is still very much a backing track to Katy's singing. The music is very cheesy and a very sort of typical heartache melody. Not offensive, but
Which is a plus so far.
It's not offensive.
It's all right, I guess.
Fucking unit shifters, aren't they?
Fucking tittle tattle.
Firework. So I thought it sounded kind of Christmassy, but I guess that's the Northern Hemisphere perspective of Firework. I quite like the vocal build-up from the first verse to the chorus. That really stood out to me. Although, when I say like, please bear in mind of the context of having to listen to Katy Perry. When she says the guy is a firework, is it because she's covered in him barium, sodium and aluminium and wants to approach him carefully with a flame?
Could be.
You've mentioned before about having the lighters in the air. I'm concerned for this love interest.
Yeah. Because
we know that Katy has got quite a dark side.
Oh yeah.
Is he about to become a human firework? Who knows? Neither of the songs were particularly stand out to me, so it's very hard to choose a favourite.
It's quite easy.
Not for me, it isn't. In fact, it's really hard. I don't know which one to pick. I'm going to go for Firework just because I kind of like the idea of a guy being blown up.
Yep, that's a good reason to choose a song.
So, there are a lot of bands who like they like people to sort of interpret their lyrics in the way that they want to.
Don't think Katy's
I don't think this was the intention in this particular case.
Okay, so we're 2-1. Okay, so thinking of you, I agree with you, Robbie. I've got very much an Alanis Morissette vibe, and that's not a bad thing. I think it's also one of Katy's rawest vocal performances. It's more of a soft rock ballad, and she's starting to demonstrate some vocal chops here, especially that note she holds around the 3-minute mark. But it is going against one of, if not her biggest anthems. Again,
oh really?
Yeah, Firework was huge.
I Kissed a Girl?
No, Firework was
against
huge.
these two songs.
Firework was huge.
Massive.
Again, she's showing some of those vocal chops once she gets to the chorus, and that's kind of my issue with it. Because up until the pre-chorus, where the David Guetta style strings kick in, it's all very clunky. And I also hate that lyric of make them go,
Oh god, yes, I hated that as well.
Oh, is it supposed to
Yeah, maybe it's so although Firework is one of her anthems, I prefer the rawness of Thinking of You over it.
Oh, so does that mean a draw?
It's a draw, so we're going to go with Thinking of You.
Okay. Alrighty.
I mean, they're both bad. So
Wow. The next two.
When you say bad,
yes. Here we go.
Next up, we have Mannequin, which is a song about a boy who Katie doesn't understand. She doesn't consider him to be a man and isn't capable of loving her like she loves him.
I thought it was about Pinocchio, but there we go.
Well,
I thought it was about a sex toy.
The next one, Peacock. Katie stated that she is hoping it will be a gay pride anthem. Peacock's represent. This is a direct quote.
Really?
Yeah. Peacock.
Oh my! What?
Wait for it. Peacock represents a lot of individuality. It's not just like I want to see your bulge. Yes, it does have the word cock in it, but art is also in fart. It's all how you look at it.
No, bullshit.
No, bullshit.
Not sure about that, Katie. Let's be honest. This is pretty much an embarrassingly obvious song comprised of one very long double entendre.
Yes.
So, on that note, because I can see you being unanimous here. Robbie.
Okay.
Let's see your Peacock.
Or not.
So Mannequin. So the thing that leapt out at me about that track was I thought it was about Pinocchio. If you read the lyrics, you're not a man, you're just a mannequin, a toy. Could you ever be real, a real boy, and understand? But you're not a man.
Oh, Robbie, you just stole my line.
It's going to happen. The thing that stood out to me musically, it was quite aggressive distortion-wise on the guitar, and I wondered if it was subject to the good old over-compression of the 90s. But we'll refer back to Stu on that one, our resident sound enforcer. I didn't mind Mannequin. There was a piano in there at one point. I don't know why. I just thought, why did they do that? I'm not sure. Peacock just reminded me of, hey, Mickey, you're so fine.
Yes!
Blow my mind.
Yeah.
Hey, Mickey.
Oh, yeah.
There is a mention of biatch, which I thought was quite funny. It's pretty funky tune. The lyrics are perhaps a new low. Are you brave enough to let me see your peacock? Don't be a chicken, boy. Stop acting like a biatch. Wow. I mean, it's actually a better song if you ignore the double entendre and just think of it as a feathered friend.
If it isn't even a double entendre, it's literally just show me your cock.
If you think of it just being a feathered friend, then I'm intrigued for a peek, and it's fascinating.
It's so beautiful.
Who doesn't love a peacock? So the synths on this are awful. The mid-late's pretty good, but I'm definitely picking Peacock because it's so bad lyrically.
What's the effing fuck did that come from?
Because I think people need to hear this to just really appreciate how bad lyrics can be. So I'm going for Peacock for the win.
I did not.
And that's all I've got on that.
I did not see that coming at all.
I didn't.
Yeah. Where are we going next?
Off that bombshell, I think we'll go with Stu.
Peacock could go fuck right off. That's it, really. I mean, right? Okay, the starts of the song, the Peacock, show me your peacock. Oh, fuck right off. It's terrible. But I'll give something to the song, which I'll give it some props. What Robbie referred to is like you didn't like the synth sound. I thought that worked well with the way she was when she was properly singing,
right?
Biatch and all that kind of stuff,
right?
But my favourite part of the whole song is the fucking end, because it ends and there's no.
You made it that far?
Oh no, I didn't. To be fair, I did turn it off. Mannequin. Does she write comedy songs as well? Because this is just
I wondered
this is
about this.
I can't think of this is not a serious song at all. I mean, another song which to me sounds like Smashing Pumpkins at the start.
Yeah, okay.
Because of the drums and bass. it's a song about a mannequin. No, I just thought literally a mannequin, not even a boyfriend, which is like a mannequin. I thought it was a mannequin, and she really wanted her boyfriend to be like a mannequin, so she could dress it up and do whatever she wanted to do with it. I thought it was funny, so I'm just proposing mannequin because Peacock can never be heard by people. Robbie, you are so wrong on this one.
Listen, need some goose to get loose. Come on, take a shot.
No, don't seduce me with those lyrics, sir.
Cath, where are you standing on the...
Mannequin. A song about Katie's dissatisfaction that her presumed love interest isn't a real man because she can't figure him out. Slightly surprising. She wants to make him cry with physical violence and she accuses him of not being a real man.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe he's just not that into her. And she's a fool. Just a fool. Just a fool. Just a fool. I didn't notice the music. I presume it's the usual bullshit backing electric guitar and drums.
Yeah.
And that concludes Mannequin. Peacock. She really wants to see his peacock. His penis.
That's not what it's about.
This song is about sexual harassment.
In the workplace.
I didn't make it beyond a minute of listening.
Really?
Just no.
Oh.
Really just no. It was just...
You're not going to see the peacock, are you?
I don't want to see this guy's beautiful, resplendent peacock.
No,
Mannequin
Wow.
from me. Even though it's about physical violence to a guy who's maybe a boy and not a
Made of
man.
plastic.
Who knows? Yeah. He's not a real man, but who cares?
Come on, Si, help me.
Help you. Right, so Mannequin goes back to the generic rock 4-piece of drums, guitars and bass.
Mm-hmm.
Katie again shows off some of those vocal chops with her note holding. Again, I'm all for it, other than the vocal stutter. A nice little video game-esque sound effect that's in the middle there. But let's be honest, this song doesn't have to try too hard to win the battle when it's going against the lyrical genius of Peacock. I mean, I got the Hey Mickey vibes. I do agree.
I would be napalm deathing the shit out of this if this is my choice.
I get the Hey Mickey vibes, and is she trying to make a Hey Mickey song?
Yeah.
You know, like, because I mean, Hey Mickey, everyone knows Hey Mickey, but it's never going to win the Juno Award for songwriting, is it?
No.
So I'm wondering if she was trying to make the Hey Mickey of her generation, and it's all about cocks.
Oh, she just so didn't do that.
She so didn't do it. So Mannequin.
People, you've been robbed.
You've been robbed of your peacock cock.
Yeah. If we were going to have, I remember Kenny Everett doing the World's Worst Record Show album, which was a compilation of the world's worst singles, and I think Peacock would certainly make Volume 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad, it's hilarious.
Okay, Battle 6 we are up to. This is going to be an interesting one. I know where I'm going first on this one. The battle is You're So Gay versus...
No. So gay.
So gay. It's like Kevin, the teenager. Oh, so gay.
So gay.
It's a different time. First
90s?
versus Circle the Drain. You're So Gay, So Gay, is a song about a boy who fits all the gay stereotypes, despite not actually being gay himself. Katie wishes the boy would be honest with her about himself. The song itself has been described as an emo-bashing anthem that's either horribly homophobic, a sly piece of social commentary, or possibly both. Circle the Drain is a song about Perry's ex-boyfriend Travie McCoy from Gym Class Heroes. His drug use and how it affected their relationship. Travie McCoy's response was, I do love this, I heard she put out a song that's about me, or about some old habits, or whatever. I look at it like this. I'm just stoked that she finally has a song with some substance on her record. Good job.
Wow.
Don't think that was a happy breakup.
That is a good comeback if you think
it is a great comeback. I don't think it was a happy breakup, though. So,
Do Do you not?
No, I don't think that the clues are there.
Mm.
And that bombshell, we're gonna go to Robbie.
Yeah. Right. So gay. If it was you are, it should have had a space in between.
You fucking punctuation ponce.
Yeah. Oh, keeping in line with the.
She used all her full stops up in Teenage Dreams. You can't expect them here as well.
So, okay, so with this track, good opening beat. Get rid of that piano, unnecessary. I love the line, I hope you hang yourself with your H&M scarf. That's quite the lyric. But trying to revive a very overused 90s phrase, which is probably now very offensive to a lot of people. And I wonder, as Si has already mentioned, there was quite probably a bit of a backlash over this. The melody's fine. It's just some of her lyrical choices are so weird. It's like I want to do an embracive LGBTQ plus anthem.
What is that?
Shot myself.
What?
Honestly, they keep adding letters to it, and I can't keep up. I'm an older guy. It's like, just shoot yourself in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I did like the brass section in this. It was quite nice, and there's some little computer noises in as well. This could have been a really good tune, but for the dodgy lyrics. And yeah, it just seems well out of time. You're so indie rock, it's almost an art. And I'm so angry because you'd rather MySpace instead. Was that still going in 2008? I don't know. Dodge. But Circle the Drain. Now, I surprised even myself here because I like this song. It's got a sort of robot rock intro. Then it's got like a disco beat that comes in. There's good vocal effects on it. But for me, the best lyrical delivery is in the chorus. Tribally drums towards the end. The rock element didn't sound forced. It sounded a bit more cohesive. It's got the sort of slightly dark synth ending. And I thought, this is really good. Why doesn't she do more of this? It's not like the rest of the track so far. The way she sings Watch You Circle the Drain's really quite it's not that high stratospheric register, it's lower and darker. There's some great lyrics. Want to be your lover, not your fucking mother. Which I wondered if that comes across as a very sort of English thing, and I wonder if that was she with Russell Brand at the time?
She probably
or maybe some of that sort of
be.
Englishness was creeping in. So had the world in the palm of your hands, but you fucking choked. I mean, that's pretty acerbic stuff. It's good. It shows some emotion and passion.
Actual passion.
Not just, going through the motions of it. So, for me, easy win, Circle the Drain. Absolutely. I think it's the best thing that has been on both albums that I've heard so far. So, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Now, this is going to be interesting because Stu's been very much enjoying the pop. So, what's your thoughts on these ones?
Right, You're So Gay is...
No!
What?
Sorry.
It is a very product of its time, and that's all I can say. And if she made this song now, I think she could have the same sentiment of what she was trying to convey, but without the fucking gay bashing. And without, because
that's how it comes across.
You could quite easily rework this song and take all that out. I'm really surprised actually. I mean, it's good and it's not good. They've not pulled this song off the album because it's streaming services. It's very easy to do, and this is like in conflict with I Kissed a Girl. It doesn't make. And it's on the same album. For fuck's sake, it's like it doesn't make any sense. So anyway, sorry, go on.
Just to clarify for people that may not know this phrase, which was really coming out in the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
Basically,
so gay.
Yeah, no. So being gay in this context was a euphemism for being weak, not homosexual.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, and it's awful. It's just, listen to it now. I mean, maybe if I listened to it in 2008 with 2008 ears or whatever, but even then I probably might find it a little bit hard to listen to. But now I find it unbearable. I just really uncomfortable listening to it. Circle the Drain, Robbie is spot on.
Yay!
Robot, middle eight I've got in there. It's I really like everything about this song. It's like it's really angry, and it's angry in the right places, and it is emotionally filled. It feels like a real. I'm not going to take it out on her. She's penned all the songs really. Okay, she might have had some help, but like her core idea. But this one looks like there's actual emotion in there, and like she really does want to go. No, I want to write this song because this person's really pissed me off, and I'm going to fucking write this down. This one is. Lyrically, doesn't take any shit either. Like what Rob said, like about the taking. Do you want a lover or do you want your mother? You know, it's just absolutely brilliant. So Circle Drain just gets it hands down. I can't. There's no comparison really on these two.
Yeah, why not more of this?
Yeah,
because it doesn't shift. Maybe.
Yeah, that's probably very much the reason it doesn't fall into that spring bake.
Yeah,
Jerry Bakewell type.
It doesn't fall into spring break. It doesn't fall into the Super Bowl.
No.
You know,
but either does so gay. You know,
no, not now.
You know, these two complement each other quite well in that sense. So,
and Cath, what are your thoughts on the two?
So you are so gay, spelt with the letters you are, and then so gay. Much slower tempo song than the previous tracks on this album. This song begins with Katy hoping that this you're so gay person commits suicide. Wow!
Yeah.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Uh-huh.
Jesus Christ. She then goes on to criticise him for being really gay, but not homosexual, because they're not into boys.
Yes.
Okay, right. Katy, you're really judgy and really, really toxic.
Yeah.
This is yet another frustrated love song. Surprisingly, Katy likes this person, but I suspect they're just not interested in her. Because she's so fucking judgy, perhaps. Like, she just, chilled the fuck out and just went, okay, so this guy is clearly gay, he's not into women, but he's not quite figured out that he's into boys. You know, that's his own personal journey of discovery. Back the fuck off.
Yeah.
She's just misused it completely.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think it's a product of its time that statement, you're so gay.
But it's not a product of its time. It's 10 years after the product.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a playground taunt.
It's a criticism, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So this album, this is marketed at teenagers.
Yeah.
You know, they're still trying to discover their identity, and I just think it's a real slur against homosexual men who are gay, that they should feel ashamed for being so, and I really dislike that.
She's put more in there, just reading the lyrics. So, you're so sad, maybe you should buy a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Okay, we've skirted on depression there. You're so skinny, you should really supersize the deal. So we've popped anorexia in there as well, just for good measure. So I just wonder who at the record company said, no, that's fine, we'll definitely pop that on the album. No worries. I mean, this isn't even filler. This is like a landmine in the middle of the album.
Yeah.
So.
I find it incredibly offensive. And what makes it even worse is the awful brass section towards the end of the song.
Hey!
And the inexplicable 8-bit melody for no discernible reason.
They're the best bits.
So that's how I feel about You're So Gay.
Right.
Fuck you, Katy Perry.
Wow.
Right, Circle the Drain. The repetitive guitar intro doesn't bode well, initially. Although it really can't get any worse than the previous song on this album, which, if I scroll up, was Peacock, I believe. Yes. Okay, there's something of the 80s about this track. And I can't quite remember what it was, but it was definitely off note when I was listening to it. There were unnecessary effects on some of the vocals too.
Huh.
I presume that kind of bring the song to life a little bit. So maybe not so unnecessary. You know what? I can't even remember. It seemed unnecessary, but maybe it made sense. She wants to be his lover, but not his fucking mother. But he prefers pill popping to shagging Katy, Well, you know what? She's clearly quite homophobic, so I would prefer popping pills as well. Another track that isn't awful, but is a lot more expletive-ridden than other tracks. So I think Katy's really beginning to find her stride a bit with expressing herself, but pitched against You're So Gay, it's... Yeah, I guess you can see how she's sort of evolved and she's finding her feet a bit. You're So Gay is just offensive. There's no two ways about it. It's a terrible song and it really shouldn't have been released. Circle the Drain has to win because it's actually got some meaning and isn't offensive. So, yeah, Circle the Drain.
I'll give a little bit of insight here. I have 3 songs that I have got marked off that may have the Napalm Death card played against.
Right.
Okay.
I
mean, if this is one of them,
this
then
battle is one of them.
I've misjudged you.
This is one of them because he thought it might have gone 3-0 to You're So Gay, and he
How
was
on
worried.
earth?
I reckon.
So,
It's an offensive track.
It is. I think we're as well. I agree. It's an offensive track. I also think we are looking at, is it a 2007 mindset with 2024 eyes or 2024 ears, where it's just. I mean, I don't think I can't even say it's not acceptable now because it wasn't acceptable then. I don't understand how, even tongue in cheek, and I don't think it is tongue in cheek. I mean, my notes are different time, but holy fuck, Katy is off to a dark place. I hope you hang yourself with your H&M scarf, like you mentioned, whilst jerking off to Mozart.
No.
It's like, where the fuck has that come from? It's like, and that's the opening lyric. Then she goes in for a bit of body shaming, some homophobia among other things.
Yeah.
The final line of "You don't even like penis" has me laughing, but not for the right reasons. It's like she's done that song, and there's someone in the record company's gone, right, we need to lighten this up, and she's gone, "You don't even like penis. That'll do, and that'll make it all right." And it's like, it's not. Circle the Drain, I thought I'd got the albums mixed up. Because when I heard this, it's like it should be on one of the boys. It's more rocky.
Yeah.
And it's the first one on this album that leans back into that pop rock style. It really jumps out as all the other songs are very poppy and chart orientated. I couldn't see this ever being released as a single.
A signal for help.
As a signal for help. I can't see it being released as a single in America because it's not their type of rock. I don't think. She also starts using that stutter that's on one of the boards with the words ending in ing. Although I do like the lyric. You're definitely like, everyone's mentioned it. It's like, wanna be your lover, not your fucking mother. It's like she's got. It feels like she's got free reign to do what she wants now.
Yeah.
She's released the first album. She had a big hit with I Kissed a Girl. She had another couple of hits off of that album. They then she started recording Teenage Dream, and the record company went, well, that's a single, that's a single, that's a single, that's a single. And
right, I just need to interject because if she's gonna, she's got famous because of the I Kissed a Girl, which she clearly did, which is sort of LGBTQ positive. She can't then release a fucking LGBTQ shaming track.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And I think that's probably another reason why the LGBTQ
plus.
Thank you, Robbie. Community got so wound up
surprised
about I Kissed a Girl because they're looking at it and she's going, "Oh, this is a gay anthem." It's going, and they're looking 4 tracks later and going,
I want to be gay. I don't want to be gay. Oh, should I shame or not? I can't decide.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Totally backfired.
So, but digressing slightly, the Napalm Death Card was going to get played, but it doesn't have to be because it was for
Well, it's entirely your decision.
No, it would have been played in the right song, Cath. This one, not the other one.
No, it was Circle the Drain.
Stand down, private. Back to your bunker.
Yeah, so I'm glad that's a clean sweep because that, as soon as I heard it, that was one of the songs that was like, oh, that one's got to go on the playlist because it is not what you expect from Katy Perry. And the fact that she's quite sweary as well, which is new for her.
I think people should listen to that just to get an idea of how badly wrong you're.
Okay, track 7 is the battle of interesting ones as well. It's Hot and Cold, which was the second single from One of the Boys, versus The One That Got Away, which was the 6th single. Sixth singles off of one fucking album. Off of Teenage Dream. So, Hot and Cold is a song about a boy who is constantly changing his mind and going through mood swings, and how all of this annoys Perry and affects her relationship with him. In the years since its release, Hot and Cold has become a Perry standard and is one of her most recognisable songs to date. Since its release, the song has been featured in tons of commercials, many films, a number of versions of video games. I say many versions of video games. Many versions of one video game, and that being Just Dance. Perry filmed a performance of a version of the song with...
Is that a video game?
No, it is. It's on a video game console, so it's a video game. Perry filmed a performance of a version of this song with the puppet character Elmo from Sesame Street, which was intended to teach children about autonomous. It was right. Okay, so Perry filmed a performance with Elmo, which was going to teach kids about words. The clip was originally scheduled to run on the 41st season premiere of the educational children's program on September the 27th, 2010. Yeah. However, the performance, which was uploaded to YouTube earlier, garnered controversy over the amount of cleavage Perry had on display in the video.
Good grief. Right.
Before the scheduled airing, Sesame Workshop announced that after controversy over the clip, we have decided we will not air the segment on the television broadcast of Sesame Street, which is aimed at preschoolers. Huh. Katy Perry fans, I don't know why it says Katy Perry fans, but it should be dads will still be able to view the video on YouTube. The One That Got Away. Katy reminisces about an ex-lover again. It's fucking hell. It's like the female version of David Gedge. And how if things had been different, they could have spent the rest...
Sorry, who?
The wedding present, Cath.
Oh, right. Best forgotten.
No.
And if things had been different, they could have spent the rest of their lives together. In an interview with James Corden, she admitted the song was about Josh Groban.
Okay.
Never heard of him.
Thank you. I'm not the only one.
No.
Great.
Okay.
Good. That's good to know. As it's a pop iconic song of Hot and Cold, we're going to go with Stu first.
Oh, hello. Wasn't expecting that. Well, they are quite famous songs, really. I mean, they are two singles. They are both singles, aren't they?
Oh, but The One That Got Away was the 6th single, not what the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth.
Yeah,
6.
and Hot and Cold. But Hot and Cold is a single.
Yeah,
well,
second single.
Yeah. I mean, that one is. You are right. That was being created for adverts. I'm sure it sold cars and coffee and whatnot. All that stuff.
Theme tune to MasterChef Australia.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. I quite. It's right. The keyboard sound. It's like a very, very basic sine wave, and I just quite like it. It's just nice. I like a nice sine wave every now and then, and the music in this fits that kind of keyboard sound. It's got a nice chorus. It's very uplifting. It's a very pop song, as it should be. One That Got Away. It is a pop song by numbers. Incredibly boring drum track, but it doesn't have to do anything. It just has to keep time, not do anything interesting, because Katy has to deliver the goods really on that one. The strings are nice on that one. They cut through quite well. I mean, both songs are well produced. I don't know. It's a hard one because they are quite well known. So, I have heard these songs many times. You know, whether it's been passive or actually listened to, whatever. So, but I'm going to go for Hot and Cold. I just think that one's the more. I just like the sine wave on the keyboard. I think that's what I'm going for. And it's quite an uplifting pop song. So yeah, I'm going for that.
Okay, Cath.
Right, Hot and Cold. So this song starts off like a really cheesy electro gym soundtrack. I actually felt like I was doing some aerobics whilst I was listening to it, so I got quite into the beat and the melody. But it's yet another frustrating love song. They're hot, they're cold, yes, no, up, down, wrong, right, black, white, blah, blah, blah. Slightly better than the other songs on the album, but really only because of the faster tempo, which generally works for me. Musically, average at best. The one that got away, so it's really interesting drummy. I say interesting, only interesting because of the scale of Katy Perry. Drumming intro, but was completely ruined by the chimey melody and lyrics. I'm really struggling to give a shit about these teenage romances. Although I am clearly not the target audience either. Katie sings about being an irresponsible 18-year-old in love with a boy. Yawn! I wish this one had actually got away. And I guess out of the two of them, I think that Hot and Cold was just musically more interesting than the one that got away, so that's where my vote goes.
Okay. So Hot and Cold is 2. Can you write this landslide that is happening, Robbie?
Well.
Oh, you've noticed.
So the one that got away is awful. It's got that double-tracked spring break vocal style again. It's just like a million other songs. Even the background classical instrumentation can't save this. It's my 18th birthday. We got in a Mustang. We got tattoos. We did this. We did that. I've tried to be cool by mentioning Radiohead and Johnny Cash in the lyrics so that I'm displaying my other knowledge as well about other genres. But yeah, it's just a nothingness track. Now, Hot and Cold. So musically, I agree with Stu. I like that synthy bass line. It's nice and simple. It's cool. With a disco beat chorus. Bit of a boring beat in the verse, but there we go. Double track vocals again on this. But I don't know if anyone's noticed. There is a line in this which puts it kind of in the same bracket as So Gay. Because we're talking about...
Surely not.
Well, you're in, you're out, you're up, you're down, you're wrong when it's right, it's black and white, blah, 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 all the opposites. And then there's the line, if I can find it, about calling the doctor, I got a case of love bipolar.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as soon as that word's in there, that changes what's going on in the rest of the lyrics. And I thought, oh no, you're lining up bipolar people as well. Whoops.
But 2008,
sake, Kerry.
that was a very, very different time on mental health.
Yeah, so
Think about
if she'd left that off, it would have been all right. It would have been, a love relationship's on and off, it's this. But as soon as you put that line in, it kind of justifies all the other lyrics, because if the person is bipolar, then that's how they're going to be. So, yeah, that was very interesting. But I still think it's a better track, despite their lyrical overtures there. So I'm going for Hot and Cold as well. But be warned, folks. Yeah, you might you see what people think about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Another bad decision. Yes, yes.
Okay, so yeah, Hot and Cold, possibly Katie's biggest, most well-known song. I've said that a couple of times. It's one of the.
Oh, this was the one that was going to be on Sesame Street.
This is the one, but it was
so they missed that as well. Yeah,
yeah, it's a different version. She basically rewrote the song to basically
all different words.
Yeah, basically she was playing hide and seek with Elmo.
Okay.
It's probably a better version. And not just because of the cleavage.
Probably is.
They should have done it to Peacock.
Yeah. She wants to see Elmo's Peacock. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know where my Peacock is.
I'm glad that I didn't notice that, because I'd probably get really irate about that as well.
Yeah, the album is definitely a product of its time. But
it's not even that long ago. It just really surprises me.
You do know that 2008 wasn't yesterday, Cath.
It doesn't feel that long ago.
It's almost 2 decades. Ago.
This is the third track. We're into very dodgy lyrical territory. I think.
What I think is concerning about this isn't Katie writing this song and then taking it to record company and then like stamping her feet and it's going on regardless. A lot of these songs will probably Katie being written, like we said earlier, Katie writing a song with a team of songwriters. And
Well, this one was written by 3 people, Katy Perry and 2 others.
I kind of get what Cath's saying about, it's going down that path again, and I also get what Stu's saying. It is 2008 is a long time ago when you consider the mental health, and it's not so much. I mean, mental health existed back then, but not to the scale of now. People's understanding of it, and I think that's where it's.
I think maybe these songs just haven't aged.
Yeah,
well.
I think it's literally that. If she tried releasing this album as it is today, I think we'd be talking about Katy Perry being cancelled.
Definitely.
Possibly.
You know,
I mean, I'm sure that if Katy Perry heard this, she'd have all sorts of explanations as to the misconstrued.
Well, obviously, we're expecting her email because she will be listening to this.
Well, I know she's a big fan of mine, for instance. But making 3 big mistakes on 3 separate tracks on the same album is worrying about the quality control that's got let through her writing process.
She does talk about a lot of sensitive issues because she's obviously touched on suicide on some of the tracks as well, which obviously then, looks into mental ill health, which is a very sensitive issue, which probably is more so since COVID. But it's just one of those things that we now feel quite uncomfortable about, but she seems to sing kind of openly about and critically about as well.
She sings about sensitive issues with a pair of size 9 jackboots.
I mean, the other thing as well is this isn't her first album. It's Katy Perry's first album. But the person behind Katy...
So she disbanded Katy Perry and the homophobes by then.
The person behind Katy Perry is her second album, and her first one wasn't commercially successful. I can't get past that. Katy Perry and the homophobes.
coming playing a church tour this summer.
She's got a 2-year residency.
Supporting
Anyway.
Oh, there's a quote for the
podcast. But it's
she was on tour that year and being supported by the Westboro Baptist Church in America.
But she wasn't commercially successful with her first album, and I'm just wondering, like, the record company let a lot of this slip through because they weren't expecting her to be as big as she became.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I guess
controversy sells, right? But if you look at people like Miley Cyrus, she's clever with it. She knows what buttons to push to cause controversy and when to stop. She hasn't gone and released something that's, I'm a Nazi. Whoops, I didn't mean it. And I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to hear. Although I'm not going to.
What the song, I'm a Nazi, whoops.
No. What the later albums, has she tidied that up? Has she got a team together with it? Don't say that because you've got into trouble with that in the past,
Yeah.
I just think it's bullshit because obviously if you look at really like best-selling female artists, so let's say Kylie and Madonna, so they are massively successful and a lot of their songs are about love. But they don't really stray into sort of criticising any type of minority group, such as people with mental ill health, or just they don't tend to slur on any group, and yet they've still sort of courted, like, I don't know, bisexuality and stuff like that, but in a really respectful way, in a really tasteful way.
Think
so. It's just questionable why Katy Perry has gone down particular paths.
I don't think it's deliberate. I think it's just incredibly clumsy. And I just think her marketing team should have been sacked for allowing that to... By the way, you do realise this could blow up in your face if you leave.
But let's put that into perspective, though. Madonna releases Like a Virgin in 2023 with social media. You think that wouldn't explode?
Yes, well, that was certainly the intention, because obviously that was an 80s track, which had a very particular meaning when she released it in the 80s, and she re-released it. When did you say? 2020 what? 2023. Certainly with its sole intention of it courting controversy because it's so anti-religion.
Yeah, so it's like I would expect that to blow up in a similar way because of that.
But I think that's more a reflection of American politics
definitely.
than religion.
Anyway, digress.
Yes.
Oh, poor Stu editing. This one's going to be fun. Hot and Cold. Possibly biggest in World Star song. Choppy guitars, whooshy synths, pure pop. Almost Tiffany-esque. 80s American.
Tiffany.
Yeah, I remember Tiffany.
I think we're alone now.
Think we're alone now, do you?
Yeah.
Tiffany or Debbie Gibson? Tiffany.
Oh, Debbie Gibson. Oh, you're so English.
Oh, fucking unit shifters.
Tittle tattle.
There's so much more you can say about it. Well, I think we have. Everyone knows Hot and Cold. The one that got away, I think Katy sounds more engaged in her music here. And a little bit more on a song later on in the album. It's got a catchy hook. It's a little bit more serious. It's a little bit more grown up than the first half of the album. Again, the two tracks could probably swap albums and be right at home. I prefer Katy when she's doing the more serious songs. So I'm going to vote for the one that got away, but not enough to play the death card.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You're avoiding controversy there.
Yeah.
Very good, Simon.
I know. Well played.
All right.
Battle 8 is If You Can Afford Me versus E.T., which was the fourth single on Teenage Dream. I feel like every track is like it's just another single.
Yeah.
If You Can Afford Me is a song in which Katy tells a prospective lover that she is worth more than he thinks, and not just someone he can throw away when he feels like it. E.T. compares her new lover to an alien. Mysterious, mystifying, unique. Oh boy.
Big head. Grey skin.
When you do consider her next lover was Russell Brand, it does make a lot of sense. BBC Music described the song as a rave-influenced quasi-ballad.
Well, there you go.
Jesus.
What the
Rave.
fuck is that?
Obviously, they've not listened to any rave music.
What the fuck? Somebody writes that shit. Cath.
Well, I guess I get paid.
Yeah, Cath. What's your thoughts on this one?
If You Can Afford Me. So... intro. Heavy on the drums. Or is that just Katy's feet stomping? There's no doubt this is yet another frustrated love song. Katy's basically describing herself as some sort of escort here. If you can splash the cash, you get to ride her.
Like a peacock.
R.I.P. romance in Katy's world. Literally nothing to say about the music because it's a backing track and I didn't notice it. There was probably some drums and some electric guitar, but it's all about Katy singing stuff. E.T. I like E.T. the film. It's a really good film. I remember seeing it at the cinema in the 80s when it first came out. And my mum got really choked up about all of the events in the film. And even though it's in the 80s, I'm not going to spoil it.
Oh, bless you.
This song has the drumming beats from Queen's We Will Rock You. Bit of a nothing song, really. Not very interesting. Not awful. Just kind of forgettable. Again, it's another difficult choice between two fairly boring songs. I think because I kind of like the drumming of We Will Rock You by Queen, I'll go with E.T.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's not where I thought that was going, but...
Oh,
Stu's looks like he's
fucking wow. E.T., let's start with that one. What the fuck? Have you actually read the lyrics, Cath?
I have.
They are
possibly
truly
skimmed them.
right.
I have, and I've put a note saying don't read the lyrics.
Oh, I'm not gonna. We have unanimously voted Peacock as being the worst fucking song on this album.
Yes.
Even though there are a couple of questionable songs which are offensive, but Peacock is
the worst
musically the most offensive. E.T. is the second most offensive song on this track. Have you actually? This is the only song I had to go down a rabbit hole because I went, "Is this a fucking joke?" She did this with P Diddy. She did and he did a rap on it.
No.
Not this
Kanye
version.
West.
He did it. Kanye West. That's it. And it was just like, oh my God, you actually made it fucking worse by doing that.
I really like the drumming, though. It really got my Queen vibe on.
I just think this is a joke song. The video to this song is out of this
world, E.T. I see what you did there.
Yeah. It's so absolute fucking nonsense, this song. It's just, oh, no.
What is it actually about?
Her fucking an alien, near enough. That's it. Just like getting on with with some
I refer the audience to my previous statement of her date was Russell Brand.
Right, if you can afford me, Cath, completely 100% right. It's just a backing track, but it works well with the song. But you know what I think about fade outs? Not a fan. However, it's still better than E.T. So if you can afford me. Oh, and the lyrics in this are so materialistically fucking nonsense. It's hard, actually. I don't know which one to pick. E.T. for the comedy value, or Can You Afford Me? Because it's actually better lyrically, but really quite offensive lyrically. I don't know.
I've got decisions.
I've got a coin.
Okay, what?
No, I'm gonna go if you can afford me, because I can't be bothered now.
Okay, fair enough.
Yay, Robbie, what are we looking at?
Right, so If You Could Afford Me, it's got a boring verse, it's got a big chorus in inverted commas, which then you rinse and repeat.
Yes.
So while I was listening to this, I also had YouTube on, and for some strange reason, and we mentioned him.
I don't blame you.
We mentioned him much earlier. Justin Hawkins has got a podcast called Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Right. And there's one particular episode that came on while I was listening to these tracks called "Oh Shit, It's Even Worse Than We Thought." And what it's all about is about the pop music industry and how it's getting much more narrow and repetitive, of which this is a prime example. So, for example, Taylor Swift was the first woman and the third artist ever to have 4 albums simultaneously in the US top 10. So what does that say about the breadth of pop music? There's a growing body of research that shows all pop music sounds the same. So, for example, in 2012, the Spanish National Research Council published an analysis of nearly 500,000 songs released between 1955 and 2010, which shows that the diversity of note combinations has consistently diminished in the last 50 years.
No, that is a stat.
Now, that is a stat.
Well done, Robbie. Robbie, for that stat.
That is a stat. So what it means is, and again, this is a quote, an increasingly data-driven music industry means there's a growing focus on replicating hits and far less space for nurturing originality, which is why at this point, some of things like If You Can Afford Me start to sound like the other tracks on some of the albums, because there's certain elements that are the same. So technology may have given us multiple new ways to listen to music, but increasingly we're hearing the same old tune. Versus E.T. So ignore the lyrics. The way that it sounds is the verse is good, the chorus isn't so good. It's the reverse of If You Can Afford Me. E.T. wins for me because of the vocal effects and the verse. But the chorus, if we are going to look at the lyrics, is almost Spinal Tap, right? And I quote, "Infect me with your lovin', fill me with your poison." Reminds me of the Spinal Tap track "Lick My Love Pump." So there we go. And the middle 8 was also rather hacked. But, just for... Yeah, it's again slightly different musical territory. Just don't read the lyrics, honestly. It's nonsense. So I'm going for E.T. over If You Can Afford Me.
Okay, before I give my version, I'm going to just pick up on something you said there about Taylor Swift having 4 albums in the top 10. Is a very, very good reason that I wholeheartedly agree with why she's got 4 albums in the top 10. Basically, when she signed her record contract, she basically signed off the rights to her records. Someone bought them. And basically would not let her do anything with her own songs. She couldn't use it for she had a documentary, couldn't use her own music in her documentary. She couldn't perform her own songs live because it would go against... Basically, the guy that owns the songs just went, "You're not using them." So she basically bided her time, waited for like the period of non-recording to expire, and then just re-recorded her albums. That's why you've got her albums, and it's in brackets Taylor's version. She's basically re-recording her music so that she can own her own music.
Right.
And that's why she has so many albums in there. What I don't agree with is the fact that she releases 5 versions of every one of the fucking albums on a different colour vinyl.
But does it also, I mean, surely the point stands that there's not enough variety out there. Oh, we'll just get 4 Taylor Swift albums in there. That's what I like. They all sound, that's that type.
But I think
are they 4 completely different types of album? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're literally I think it's her first 4 albums, and you're going to get Taylor Swift fans backing her and buying her new versions of her albums so that she owns her own music. That's the main reason why she's doing it. So I do agree with that she should own her own music.
Okay, so here's another stat for you. A 2014 article in The Atlantic, radio stations are pushing the boundaries of repetitiveness to new levels. Top 40 stations last year, so 2013, played the 10 biggest songs almost twice as much as they did a decade ago.
Oh, yeah. Commercial radio is just a fucking hodgepodge of repeats. It's like you can listen to a song on commercial radio and an hour later, don't worry if you've missed that song this hour, because it'll be on again in an hour's time.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then there'll be an advert straight after.
Yeah, it's like, it's a big thing with commercial radio. I remember Virgin Radio, when it first launched, did a thing where it promised to never repeat a song between 9 and 5. And if they did, really? that was their big thing. They were on something like 102.4 FM.
That sounds like bullshit.
And they basically said, we will not repeat a record during the working day. So between 9 and 5, we will not repeat a song. If we do, phone us and tell us that we've repeated it, and when we repeated it, and we'll give you £102.40. It was a huge marketing thing.
It's a hell of a memory. Is that very precise?
Exactly. It's just like the most inane shite.
I think all radio stations repeat songs, but I think some repeat them less frequently than others.
Yeah.
There are some. I really like Six Music because they have a much more sort of broader and eclectic.
But it's not a pop station.
Collection of. It's not a pop station, but they still play pop music amongst a whole range of other things. But you will still notice that they play particular records on a particular frequency throughout the working day. I think radio stations have to do that.
Yeah.
But it's quite surprising the statistics that you presented, Rob, that Taylor Swift has multiple albums on replay throughout the day. It does make a statement about, our listening habits.
Definitely.
And it's quite sad. Really.
Yeah, well, I suppose technology is partly to blame, but that's another podcast.
Yeah. Right, okay, back to the
Sorry,
notes.
back to you.
Right, so if you could afford me, oh my God, my notes. Please, Katie, just stop extended words by stuttering the last bit. It's basically her, yeah, boy.
Oh, call back.
I mean, when we do get to the chorus, we get quite a catchy earworm, but I'm not sure if I'm hearing other songs in this or it's just that it's that generic. It's going back to exactly what you said, Rob. Now, E.T. I don't even have to think about what I'm hearing here. It's a fucking carbon copy of All the Things She Said by Tattoo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It draws its influences from that and electronica and to a point dubstep without the scratchy Commodore 64 loading screen. Moving her vocal style though to the start of the word almost has like a hip hop diva vibe to it. Now, I think it was Stu that mentioned it. There is a version with Kanye West, which we'll put up in the group because that everyone should listen to that because it takes their sanity levels to fucking outer space.
Yeah. The video is something something different.
The
as well.
lyrics on the Kanye West version include, I'm going to disrobe you, then I'm going to probe you.
Excellent.
It's like, luckily it's not that version we're discussing. I think this song is possibly the point where she's starting to look at more serious, darker songs, but can't let go of her cheesy bubblegum influences. Both have catchy, radio-friendly choruses. I'm going to go with E.T. as it's the start of her more grown-up songs, and it does demonstrate her vocal range a little bit more.
Yep.
Right,
Good call.
Right, track 9.
Yes,
Jesus.
getting towards the end.
We are in the final quarter. Lost versus Who Am I Living For? Neither of which were singles, which is an unbelievable stat for this albums. Lost was a song inspired by Katy's move to Los Angeles, obviously didn't have an A to Z, and her feelings of being lost in life before she signed her record deal. Who Am I Living For? Katy Bettles? Fuck me. Who am I living for? Katy battles with her religious upbringing and struggles to come to terms with who or what she's living her life for. The song is heavily laced with biblical and theological imagery. It references the biblical story of Esther, who, whilst retaining the overall theme of the struggle between living for the world and living for God. Okay. Just some light subject matter to start with. Robbie.
Yes, hello. Right, so I listened to these in the reverse order than what I'd been doing before. So I went for Who Am I Living For first. And I got shades of Circle the Drain here because I think she's much better at the darker, sparser sounding stuff. Lyrically, yeah, there's some good lines in it. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Don't let the greatness get you down. That's pretty cool. That's not bad. So there's quite a soulful delivery in it. There was shades of Living Colour in there in some of the stuff, some of the chord progressions and stuff, some of their darker stuff. Yeah, just again, really good. This and Circle the Drain for me were the two of the best tracks that I think she's done. So I listened to Lost secondly. So it was fighting a bit of a losing battle because that bar was so high from the other one. But when you read the lyrics and listen to the music, they're definitely at odds with each other. So this is one that she didn't write herself. So she was evidently given this and then perhaps set the music to it. As a result, I think it could have done with that darker treatment that Who Am I Living For has got. Because there's lyrics like, have you ever been so lost, known the way and still so lost? Another night waiting for someone to take me home. Have you ever been so lost? Now, the way she sings it, it's very high and hopeful, and it's just completely at odds. And for some reason, I thought, I wonder what Chris Cornell would have done with this track. With a stripped down acoustic guitar, very sort of melancholy tone to it. I just think this could have been so much better stripped back and a bit darker in the delivery.
I would have loved to have heard Chris Cornell sing something like this.
So, but then at the end, she thinks, oh God, no, hold on a minute. I better go back to the Lighters in the Air for the big finish. So, yeah, lots of potential, not used. Who am I living for me?
Okay.
Back to you in the studio side.
Cath, what are you going for?
Right then, so Lost, I thought it was a really pleasant and chilled intro to the song that made me hopeful that it's actually going to be a reasonable track. I quite like the slow tempo and the little chimes that sounded like little tears falling into the porcelain that she's looking down to, that she describes in the lyrics. It's quite a melancholic song musically, but does anyone fancy a pint?
Yeah.
Right, who am I living for? It's a shitty synth pop.
Oh no!
It's such a boring song that I googled it just to find out some meaning behind it. So it's thought to be about spirituality and faith, since Katy Perry cites a biblical character, Esther, although she only really does it in one line, so maybe not so much. Its inspiration is often attributed to Perry's personal struggles with fame and self-doubt at the time, questioning the pressures and expectations that come with a rising stardom. Oh, boo fucking who.
Wow.
Just a load of bullshit, really. So therefore, I found Lost more interesting, so I'm going to go with Lost.
Wow, okay.
Wow.
So 1-1. Stu.
Help me out, Stu.
Right, so Lost, it's a nice start, and it's another song about having a hangover. That's what I've got in my notes. Nice drum sound, bass goes well. It's a fade out, though. And you know what I think about fade outs. Doesn't matter whether it's the most deep and meaningful song in the world. Anyway, who am I living for? I quite like, is it a patinator? The sound effect where you get the note go.
I'm not sure.
I really like that in this song. It's really good. Yeah, I agree with Robbie. It's more of a deep or more lyrical than what she's normally or what you're normally used to hearing of her doing. The music's a little bit nothing, but I think it goes quite nice. To be fair, I come to Katy Perry for pop,
right,
and the chorus. That's all I want. This one though isn't that, and I quite like it as well. I think I'm going to go for Who Am I Living For, but I just think because it's slightly different, and it's a bit more interesting to the other stuff she's done, and but at that tempo. Where the other slow songs she does, they're just boring. I can't be bothered with them. It's like whatever. But this one's like a bit different. This one, because this one's on kind of Teenage Dream, which is very synth pop as well. That album, or very good around there. So, but this one gets my vote.
Okay, mine. So it's 2-1.
Where are we going, Si?
So, what is that intro from Lost similar to? It's like as soon as every time I hear it, it's just like it sounds familiar, but I don't quite know why it sounds familiar. Again, it's another more raw, grown-up song from Katy that shows off her vocal range, as it starts off raw and relaxed and held back against the backing of those relaxed drums and bass. But then as we get to the chorus, she really starts showing off her vocal talents again, which does make her stutter vocals at the beginning of the album even more frustrating, because she's now proven during that same period of recording that she is capable of like really belting songs out or making lyrics melodic. So there's, it frustrates me. Who Am I Living For again has a more electronic feel with its bass and drums, but her fucking boy vocal stutter rears its ugly head again, so I'm going with Lost.
No way. Oh, are you going to play the Napalm? Oh, give me the Napalm Death card.
No. It's 2-2, but I'm going to keep my vote.
I'll trade you one back later.
No.
Wow.
No trading.
So I'm going with Lost.
So which one are you going for? You are going for
Lost.
For the win.
Lost for the win, aye. But no Napalm because it was a draw.
Good grief. Listeners, I'm shocked.
Okay, number 10. Self-Inflicted versus Pearl. Self-Inflicted is a song about her lover, again, who Katy knows is dangerous and is only going to result in heartbreak, but she pursues him anyway. Pearl, Katy documents a woman who has allowed a man to bring her down and keep her from reaching her goals. Towards the end, Katy reveals that she in fact was the woman, allowing her woman to control her. Plot twist! But she ultimately woke up and regained control of her life. So, Cath.
Oh. Oh dear, right. So, Self-Inflicted, very electric guitar-y intro, which I quite liked. And it made me wonder if this is another sexy Katy Perry song. Although I'm still not sure after listening to it, as it's the love interest is described as a weapon that Katy can't stop self-harming with. Very wholesome, I thought. Not. Decidedly average on the Katy Perry scale of love songs. So really, I guess the only thing that really stood out was the sort of the guitariness of it. Because it's just, she's written a lot of she's written a lot of love songs, and this just sort of blends in with them. Whereas Pearl, so who is Pearl? Well, Pearl is a pyramid, a hurricane, cane. She's a gust of wind. She used to be an actual pearl as well. But it's more of a sort of a shitty synth pop, but less in your face than the previous track, which was E.T. No, Who Am I Living For? Nothing is interesting about this song, but there's some piano towards the end. But again, it's not great. So I guess Self-Inflicted, just because musically the guitar was more interesting than the shitty piano synth pop.
Okay. Robbie.
Hello. Right, so Self-Inflicted, we're back to the rock, which for me is not her best stuff, having now heard Who Am I Living For, that everyone should probably listen to, even though it's not going to be on our playlist, and Circle the Drain.
He's not
which
bitter.
was also... No, not at all. But I just don't think her rock stuff is that good. It's just cookie cutter. You know, it's I want to rock, but and we're going to hear the worst example of that later. So yeah, I mean, it's all right. Pearl, her analogies are terrible. She, as Cath said, she was a pyramid, she was a hurricane. The one that got me was she could be a Statue of Liberty, she could be a Joan of Arc. Jesus. I feel at this point we've heard it all already. So musically and vocally it's far from the best stuff. There's one thing I'm not sure if Stu picked this up. There's a cymbal crash just before the chorus, but it sounds almost like an apology, like someone snuck in and went, sure, no one noticed, I'm going to sneak out again. Yeah, but the thing that broke it for me was, but I woke up and grew strong, and I can still go on, and no one can take my Pearl. So, yeah, no, not having that. So, self-inflicted for the win.
Okay, so 2-0. We've got a landslide coming here, Stu.
Yeah, self-inflicted. It's a nice, real, I'm going to put in quotes here, because I don't know whether it's a real drum sound, but they give the illusion it's a real drum kit. It's a very, again, paint by numbers rock, pop song. You know, there's nothing really that interesting in there. Third 5 out. Stuart Snodder. No. Pearl, compared to Self-Inflicted, it is the weaker track. You know what? It's a shame it's not just 3 minutes perfect, because it would be a Eurovision song. I think it would be a perfect. Put it in there. Yeah. It will do. I don't know what country it would go for, but it would just be. It just reminds me of a Eurovision song. It's all well produced. A bit boring. It's not what I'm looking for in Katy Perry, to be fair. So it's going to be Self-Inflicted. Is my choice.
Self-Inflicted as well.
Fair call.
Okay, so this is a bit of a tough one. Self-Inflicted for me is a very much an early 2000s Pink inspired ditty. I do like the catchy pop, rocky guitars and drums. A good lyric there for her as well. You are the weapon I choose. These wounds are self-inflicted. Not sure. Pearl, however, even with its galloping pop bass line, is a great example of Katy's vocal talents again.
Mm-hmm.
I love how the vocals rise and rise and rise and rise and rise without really actually getting anywhere.
And then beyond the audible spectrum.
Yeah. I don't know. I do like both songs. I don't like the story of Pearl. Self-Inflicted is catchy-ish. I know it's cookie cutter rock, but are we almost venturing into the Green Day cookie cutter type rock? You know, this is
maybe.
This is going.
Cath will like it next week.
Aye. This would sell on college radio. Self-Inflicted.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
of course.
So I think she knows what she's doing. If you talk about the time that her releasing this, you would be inspired by Pink, maybe American Idiot by Green Day. So. Yeah, I can see that. I'm going with Self-Inflicted. Another landslide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Landslide.
I mean, the fact that there's no guitar solo on any of the rock tracks means it's radio fodder.
It's saxophone solos.
They sell in America as well, so yeah.
I mean, I thought I'd had enough of those in the 80s.
Yeah. But I love the fact that I've got, great advice for one of the biggest selling pop artists in the world with you should have done it like this. Yeah. Why not doing a more Chris Cornell style, this one? We won't make any money, but it'll sound fucking great.
To be honest, I'm totally on board with that. That sounds, I'd love to hear Chris Cornell do that.
Okay, next up we have track battle number 11. I'm Still Breathing versus Hummingbird, Heartbeat.
I'd like to have heard Hummingbird.
So go over like a little ute going. Not a lot about these songs online. I'm Still Breathing. Guess what it's about? It's about love.
Oh my God!
It's about a love affair that has ended and poor old Katy's heartbroken again. Hummingbird Heartbeat, however, is Katy sings about her new lover, Russell Brand, who is so incredible that he makes her heart beat as fast as a hummingbird's whenever he's around. So, Stu, what's your pick for this one?
What's my take on it? Right, so I'm Still Breathing. On my notes, I've got it. They uses like a double track kind of effect on there on the voice, which I think works really well. I did listen to it on headphones. I didn't notice it was panning from left to right, but it was still nice and effective. The kind of song.
He's such a sound engineer. Jesus Christ!
Isn't he just?
It was I quite like the groove in it as well. It was more of a better groove, I thought, than what the other stuff she's done. Nice relaxing drums. The bass complemented that as well. But another song about her ex, but I didn't know which ex. In my notes, I'm not sure which ex, and you answered my question. Hummingbird Heartbeat, classic 80s synth pad right at the start. It's like very, I mean, not overly 80s, but it was definitely essence of there.
You think?
Yeah, well, I do. Another sexually charged song. I think this song would have benefited, though, if it was more electronica than being more. I think it would have suited it far better.
Do you know what? She should have hired us back in 2008.
You know what? She would have made more money.
Well, she would
money.
Would have made less money, but there would have been less controversy. Don't put that in.
Cath would have just been like, "Oi, Katy, nah."
Yeah, yeah. Burn that. That's never got to come out of the archives.
Oi, Katy.
No.
Oi, Katy.
No more of this tittle tattle.
But the Hummingbird Heartbeat, it does follow the Katy Perry classic style of choruses, everything.
Yeah.
Everything else is just secondary. So, but my vote is going to I'm Still Breathing. It's I don't know, it just seems a lot more better song.
Yes.
Okay, Cath, where are you going?
So the melody and the title suggest that something sad has occurred. The lyrics then take things to a whole other level of disturbing as Katy muses on different ways to commit suicide after a breakup. It's, quite a full-on song when you look at the lyrics, and it does go to some surprisingly dark places. It just, I wasn't keen on it. It's just, it gets a little bit too dark. And for someone who's sort of bubblegum pop, it just seemed like very strange territory that she was sort of going over with this song. Although, maybe it's important that she explores this. And then we look at Hummingbird Heartbeat. So this is synth-tastic. And we're totally back in the 80s musically. And sort of Ghostbusters and that sort of Blade Runner come to mind. Having just been released in the cinema, Katy clearly borrowed the keyboard player from those films for this track. Yeah, kind of. That's the one I was looking for. Yeah, Vangelis. Utter crap lyrically. But apparently inspired by Katy's then boyfriend Russell Brand. So yeah, it's a difficult one. It's the sort of the nostalgic 80s Vangelis keyboard Hummingbird Heartbeat, or something really dark and disturbing, I'm Still Breathing. I think they're both, neither of them are bad, but neither of them are sort of amazing either. So I think perhaps Hummingbird Heartbeat, just because of the sort of the 80s nostalgia attached to it.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Robbie, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, there's elements that I agree with and elements I don't. So Hummingbird Heartbeat, yes, the 80s were on the phone and wanted their music back. But we've heard it all already, both musically and lyrically. The chorus is awful. And I bet it sold a stack. Was this a single, this one?
No.
Was it not? It seemed familiar somehow. But again, maybe that's just the repetitive nature of pop music and the artists. I don't know. But there's it's a battle of the lyrics here, and I'm going to pick out two examples which I must disagree with. Is
it the punctuation?
In Hummingbird Heartbeat, we have the lyric, "Some call it science, (science, we call it chemistry." Well, it is that chemistry is science, you fuckwits. So that got me quite angry. However, in I'm Still Breathing, we have the line, already lost a grip, best abandoned ship. Lost a grip, but lost the grip.
She should have come to you.
Should have come to me.
She should have come to you.
I'm Still Breathing wins because it's got it starts off with a bit of a story. I leave the gas on, walk the alleys in the dark, sleep with candles burning, I leave the door unlocked. Oh, where is this going? Oh, I'll tell you where it's going, to Cheeseville. So once we've arrived in Cheeseville, we stay there. But
first class ticket, please.
At the end, there's a nice church organ ending. And that's the best part of it. So, of the two, I'm going to I'm Still Breathing.
I'm Still Breathing. Okay.
So sad.
So sad.
So sad. So, yeah, I mean, another two tracks, like, they should sound like they should be on the other
They
album.
should sound like this.
They should shout.
Oh, we haven't upset the Dutch and the Belgians yet, so let's do that now.
That was my Sean Connery.
Oh, yeah, and the Scottish, yes.
Oh, and the
Scottish. I'm going to pick up on something that Stu said. On the Massive Attack episode, we spoke about how double tracking, so the vocalist is harmonising with themselves, can work really well when done correct.
And it can.
And how impressive it was with Toppley Bird or a Sinead O'Connor track.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Still Breathing is the opposite example of this.
Yes.
It is so fucking jarring. It's not subtle at all. It's like someone pushed record and they went, oh fuck, we're supposed to have started the other one as well. And that's kind of what it's like. I don't like it.
But isn't that American college radio? That's the way you do lyric. That's the way you record your lyrics. So it just smacks of that. I don't know what the technical thing is, but
I think it's because it's too far apart. It doesn't feel like she's harmonising herself. It just sounds like two drunk women in a bar.
One of them's got a cymbal that they're apologetically hitting.
I think if they just left it as a simple basic track highlighting her vocals, it would have been so much better. Hummingbird Heartbeat, catchy, although very cheesy lyrically. I think this just is what happens when Katy gets in love. I don't super care for Hummingbird Heartbeat, but I really don't like the jarring nature of that double tracking on I'm Still Breathing, so I'm putting my vote to the 80s and going with Hummingbird Heartbeat.
Yeah, go the 80s.
Honestly, I don't feel passionate about my choice. If I could have my words again, I might even lean towards what you're saying there, Si.
Yeah. It's a funny one, isn't it? It's like... I'm glad this wasn't the last two tracks, because that would have been a bad way to end the album.
Oh, don't worry, there's worse ways to end the album that we're about to hit. So
anyway, just to clarify, because it's 2-2, is it definitely Hummingbird?
It's definitely Hummingbird Heartbeat. I'm
all
not
right.
Okay, just in case. Right.
Okay.
So the final battle.
The final battle.
It is
Fingerprint.
The Dutch version of the song.
Yes.
And it's basically a song about Katy being determined to make her mark upon the world and be remembered. Not like the movies. Katy sings about a love that is cinematic and dramatic, like the kind of love you see in the movies, and not having yet experienced that kind of love, but still holding on to the hope that someday she will, and her one true love is somewhere out there waiting for her.
Do me a
favour.
Do me a fucking favour.
All your fucking tittle tattle there, Katy. Katy just wants to be loved. I really do think we should introduce her to David Gedge. I think the two of them together.
She's going out with Orlando Bland, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, she doesn't want Gedge, does she?
What's wrong with Orlando Bloom? What a lovely fellow. He was an elf, you know.
He was a pirate as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, great actor, apparently.
Yeah. Gosh, full of venom tonight. Old Spiky Chops over there.
Speaking of which, Spiky Chops, what are you going to vote for?
Oh, no, don't start with me. Oh, right, okay. Fingerprints. So it has some guitar-y chugga-chugga at the start.
It does.
Which we know I'm not a fan of. I mean, The Wedding Present just really put me off of
Whoa,
that.
whoa, 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 whoa.
So,
Whoa.
You're not a fan. I thought you loved the Chugga Chugga. I thought it was the Jingle Jangles you didn't like.
No, yeah. I like the Iron Maiden chug, but
No. The wedding present was Jingle Jangle.
Yeah,
it is reminiscent of the wedding present, and it really goes downhill from there. When the drums start, it was just not a good start for me. It just, the PTSD was kicking in. And I assumed that I was supposed to pay more attention to the lyrics than the music, although the music was really distracting for the wrong reasons. The chorus isn't bad. It's quite energized initially, but then sort of becomes quite cheesy. But it does sound very much like a last track on the album, and I'm sort of seeing the credits rolling down the screen as I'm listening to the music. It's not awful. There are many worse tracks on this whole Katy Perry playlist than this one, but there was just nothing memorable or catchy about it either. So instantly forgettable, really. Not offensive, but just kind of boring. Not like the movies. So, Katie, let me break it to you, darling. Nothing is like the movies. So this is a power ballad, which, embarrassingly, I don't actually mind, because I think she sings it really well, and she doesn't do it in the sort of the trendy kind of warbly style of many current day singers. It's about Katie's disillusionment with love after a disappointing first experience. Just gonna get my tissues out to poor Katie. The backing vocals aren't bad either. So yeah, I don't actually mind a power ballad as long as it's not warbly. And out of the two, I did enjoy this one more, despite it not being my sort of more sort of traditional taste in music. But Fingerprints was just shit. So yeah, not like the movies for me.
Okay. Just to clarify that, you said nothing's like the movie. So are you saying our boy Orlando wasn't really a pirate or an elf?
Or an actor?
Yeah, God, I can't wait. We need to hire a lawyer.
A team of them.
Future episodes. Yeah. Because I think we're going to start getting some posts shortly.
Okay. On that bombshell, Stu.
Fingerprints. It's a pop punk song by numbers. We've heard this format so many times on this album. This album is all about that format, really. Yeah. I don't mind this one. I quite like it. It's not bad. The lyrics are not bad for Katie. She seems to be a little bit more militant and things that she wants to talk about. Middle out though is a bit muddled, but it kicks back into a classic Katy Perry chorus. So, it sort of saves itself on that one. Not like the movies. It's a slow track, nice piano. Do I like this? I don't know. Is it good for a last song on the album? I don't know. His Fingerprints is more uplifting and a bit more. So, lyrically, I don't know. Well, I'm not really taking the lyrics that deeply, but musically, it's a bit more uplifting than not the movies, which is more of a choosing some very down chords and things. A nice brush effects on the drums. I did notice. The only time she's the producer or the programmers use brushes. It's quite cool.
You would notice that.
They've used a 75 decibel high gain pass with a panning sidechain listen.
Did you know? I didn't know you knew that.
Because I'm also a sound engineer, but I'm just not as passionate about it as you.
I am a little bit conflicted because it's the last song. It's like, which is the better of the two? I think musically, maybe not like the movies is probably better in that sense because it explores. It's a bit more complicated. It probably needed a bit more thought when it was writing it. Musically, that is. Where Fingerprints, it was just like, right, well, just get the let's log on to download my backing track and we'll do that one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for not like the movies, just because it's a slightly different one. It seems to be a little bit more different, and even though it's on a down, it is actually on a down and not an upper.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Robbie, have we got another landslide in the making here?
I don't know. So let's get out of the way. Both 2 week ending tracks. We're not going out with as much bombast as I might like. There is bombast, but of all the wrong types. So let's go with Fingerprints first. Katy tries punk rock lyrical sentiments.
Does she?
Yes, voted most likely to end up on the back of a milk box drink. Looks like I'm letting them down because $7.75 isn't worth an hour of my hard work and time when you can't afford half the shit they advertise. That's all right. That's not bad. A good start. Then we get to the chorus. Oh no, shit! I've got to sell some records. I better abandon this. I want to break the mold. I want to break the stereotype. Fist in the air, and I'm not going down without a fight. It's my life. Isn't that another song? And I'm sitting on the sidelines watching. Yeah, no, it starts off good, man, but then it's just it's like she got cold feet and ran out of the sea. Go for it. Don't don't make it a single. Do something like Circle the Drain or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. But no. Then we've got Not Like the Movies. There's a genre that we haven't covered with Katy Perry yet. So Katy Perry's got your college radio rock. She's got your spring break pop. She's got your stuff that she wants to do. Maybe Circle the Drain and Who Am I Living For? What we haven't talked about yet is, of course, the Disney franchise. Yes.
Disney Katy. Is she related to Hawaiian Bruce Disney Katy?
Could be. I don't know. So in this one, we've got the intro suggests we might be going somewhere haunting with this, but we're not. It's the cheesiest lyrics that she's come up with so far. And I just thought this absolutely smacks of Disney soundtrack. Now, musically, if you take the lyrics away, it's actually all right until the big crescendo moment. I would have just preferred this as an instrumental track, to be honest with you. When I read lyrics like, where was it? He put it on me, I put it on. Yeah. And it's like someone who's still playing with dolls. Oh, I'm going to be a princess. I know how I felt when I first became a princess, but it's pure Disney. Beauty and the Beast would have fitted in with that animated version of that. So I would have preferred this song with no lyrics and darker and not sung so high. And then I thought, can we put Bad Brains at the Movies in instead? Because it had more to say in 2 lines than this entire song did. So for me, I'm going to have to go with Fingerprints just because it starts off with a lot of promise that sadly isn't lived up to by the chorus. There we go. Fingerprints for me.
Okay, so we're 2-1. So for me,
bring it home.
Yeah, it's a battle where Katy shows off some influences, I think. Not like the movies, we'll start with. More pop soul-y affair, which is a very simple, mainly piano backing, until a laid-back drum beat comes in to accompany the backing. The lyrics are something that Katy works with rather than plays around with. A bit like Adele. So...
You need to explain yourself there, Simon.
Yeah, it's just that I can imagine just her on a stage with a piano, maybe Katy covered in cupcakes, draped over the piano, singing it. Like, it's just that's it.
I want to be draped in cupcakes.
Sorry, Robbie. Fingerprints came from a shelved Katy Perry album called Fingerprints. Which also featured the tracks Thinking of You, Self-Inflicted and Waking Up in Vegas, which kind of makes sense as they all share the similar feel of her dipping her toes into that rocky, punky type aspect. I think she's drawing influence from Paramore, as the songs would be quite at home on Paramore's Riot album.
Okay.
It's a rockier style into the album. I like both songs. But my love for the Paramore style gets my vote, so I am going to go with Fingerprints.
Hey. So where does that tally us?
So that is 2-2, so I am going to keep with Fingerprints because that was the last one I had down for the Napalm Death card.
All right, there we go.
Oh,
Wow. So we
No
haven't
way.
used many Napalm Death cards in these.
No, we haven't. It's like we're using a lot less of them than I thought we were going to.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing that we don't use one every episode.
Yeah.
But it's
I
just
think it's only been 1 or 2 used so far.
so that leads us, seeing as the battles are all over. Stu, what songs are on the playlist?
Well, the playlist is very heavy over to one album, but I'm not going to say which album. You're going to have to guess. So, the track lists are One for the Boys, I Kissed a Girl, Waking Up in Vegas, Thinking of You, Mannequin, Circle the Drain, Hot and Cold, E.T., fuck's sake, why on earth that got on there? Lost,
Wrong.
Self-Inflicted, Hummingbird, Heartbeat, and Fingerprints.
There we go.
And this amazing collection of Katy Perry songs will be called what, Simon?
The playlist title will be Teenage Boys. So good luck for Googling that one. I think it would probably be a lot safer if you went over to our Spotify and searched for the title on there. Or alternatively, go and join the Album Armageddon Facebook group where you will find a pin post right at the top that links directly to all of our playlists from the archive, as well as some other shenanigans going on with our ever-growing community there. The last thing we ask you to do is drop us a 5-star review, and you might even get a shout out at the beginning of the next show. Just do it on the platform you are listening to right now, and as well as share the podcasting group on your social media platform of choice. That just leaves us to put a bow on this episode, or a cupcake, or something else that's bubblegummy.
Whipped cream.
Whipped cream. To tell you the next month, we will be featuring the 3 most famous beards in music, and to say goodbye. So say goodbye, Cath.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye, Stu.
See you later.
And say goodbye, Rob.
Where's that lovely duck I was with earlier? See ya!
And the next time, see you all then.
Bye!